what's up, guys? It's Mugen Lord here, and welcome to Mugen TV, episode 8 of this podcast. And as I promised before, I said I was going to have some special guests. And today we have Cassie Cage, and also we have Words of Paradise. And before we get into all that, as I said before, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also follow me on Twitter. And then, of course, make sure you check out VinceOrionComics.com, which the website will be launching April 22nd. So, as we dive into this, you know we're going to be talking about, you've seen the title, we're going to get into a lot of the nitty-gritty of the controversy surrounding the Nintendo Switch 2, and we will talk about the future of gaming. Before we dive into that, I want both my guests to be able to introduce themselves and tell them where they can be able to find them and everything like that, starting with Cassie Cage. Just tell them whatever you want to tell them.
Yo, chat, what's good, man? It's great to be here. So happy that Mugen Lord thought to invite me to talk about Nintendo shit because, kind of makes things, for better or for worse, makes things interesting in the gaming space. But if you want to check out what I got going on, you can always follow me on Twitter at Mario Kart and also my YouTube channel, Cult Classic Cage.
Awesome. All right, Leon, what about you?
Well, first, I got to echo Cassie's sentiments. Two of you are easily two of my favorite YouTubers of all time. I've been on your guys' shows, you've been on mine. This is my first time on yours, Mugen, so thank you. But I adore the hell out of the both of you. You're some of the most fun, entertaining, sanest voices in gaming, so thank you so much. I'm not. I'm a dick. I'm kind of retarded, and my content isn't near as good as theirs. But if you're interested, hit up my channel, Words of Paradise. We cover a lot more than just gaming, just pop culture in general. I'm stoked to be here. I'm also the resident Nintendo dick writer, so I'm going to be defending a lot of the shit that folks are detracting. And it is what it is. I'm sure I find egregious though, and I will push back on it. I'm not just a blind obsessed fanboy.
Okay. We definitely going to get into it. For starters, when it came to the Nintendo Direct, for the Nintendo Switch 2, the Nintendo Direct, I just want to hear what you guys' thoughts and opinions are on it. Give me the positives and give me the negatives, starting with Cassie when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct.
So I was surprised by the games. Thankfully things didn't really get leaked out. So getting, Donkey Kong Bonanza was really cool. The system, the games, the system looks insane. I actually really like the overall design, and really I'm a big fan of Mario Kart World. So that's huge W. Seeing games from the Switch being able to get the Switch upgrades was a big deal to me because I kind of stopped playing the Switch because it just feels so dated, and it's hard for me to, being PC gamer, to kind of just be like, yeah, I can deal with, sub 30 FPS gaming. It's not my bag personally, so I wanted to play a lot of these games, but they just didn't run really well for me. The only last one I played was Mario RPG, which is really solid. It actually ran well, so I'm down to play games if they run well. But the Switch for the past few years has had that struggle. So this one looks awesome. I love that it has DLSS support, VRR support. These are PC features that consoles are adapting, which is a big positive. And the only other takeaway in regards to the negatives is, first off, paywalling the cash button is depressing. It's literally a paywall button. Sad to say, and just the Nintendo prices are Apple prices now. The system I don't mind so much being at the price point that it is, but it just goes more egregious from there. It's like the starting point where it's like, okay, not terrible, but not great either. And then it's just yeah, here's $80 games now, and locking GameCube behind this feature, this online subscription, I just don't really see much value in. I'd rather just go steal your games at that point. And what else can I say? Just the idea of having to pay for an introductory video game, when really, for example, PlayStation introduced the Astrobot game, Astro's Playroom. That was packaged in with the PS5. That I thought was one of their best games. It started off rip with PS5 generation. I love Astrobot.
Wii Sports for PlayStation. You know how on the Wii Sports is honestly one of the best games on the Wii. Astrobot's like Wii Sports for PlayStation.
Well, Astro's Playroom was the free packaging game, and I thought it was phenomenal. I really want to play Astrobot because of that, but I also want to see if it comes to PC. So yeah, that packaging in a game that looks genuinely inferior. So Astro's Playroom looks phenomenal, but like paywalling an introductory game that looks genuinely wholeheartedly inferior in comparison is like silly. But I won't harp much longer. So go ahead.
So what about you, Leon?
Yeah, I'll be real. When it comes to the direct, I liked a lot of it. I'm gonna be real. Most of the negative stuff was after the direct, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So as far as like the price point for the Switch 2, bro, I ain't got no issue with the price point of the Switch 2. It actually was a bigger upgrade from the Switch than I even thought it would be. And again, I'm a Nintendo fan. I don't even need like the PS1. The PS2 was just a better PS1. PS3 was just spec-wise a better PS2, and like from there, like the leap's been getting less and less. I didn't need anything more than a better Switch, and we exceeded my expectations in that regard. I'm a big fan of the magnetic Joy-Cons. Like I love the idea of the magnetic Joy-Cons. I think it's an incredible design upgrade. But also when it comes to echo Cassie's sentiment about her not playing her Switch anymore, like Tears of the Kingdom was the last massive Switch game that got really into 100% of that bitch twice, and ever since then. My Switch has honestly just been a Smash Bros. And Pokemon Unite machine. I don't use it for anything else aside from those two games. I don't play anything else on it. Like even if I'm going to boot up Zelda or whatnot, I've been going back and playing Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on my Wii. Like I've been using Nintendo discs in my Wii. So yeah, like I really want to re-experience those two games, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, in the upgraded version. I think that paying $10 or whatever for an upgrade, I don't have an issue with that. PlayStation did that, and frankly, they did for games that I don't think were necessarily worth it. They're on like their 9th release of the fucking Last of Us or whatever. So all in all, I got no issues with a lot of stuff behind the Switch 2. I get the complaints about the paywall button that Cass was talking about, but by the same token, I pay for Nintendo Switch Online anyway. I find value in Nintendo Online, so it's a plan I've already been paying for the last God knows how many years. So when I get the new Switch, it's just going to transfer over because it's linked to your Nintendo account, not to your Switch itself, if I recall. So I would have been paying that anyway. So and the button being paywalled sucks, but I feel like any legit Nintendo fan that does the online play for things like Mario Kart or Smash Bros., you were already paying it anyway, so it's not really paywall. I can't imagine that button and stuff being the thing that people are like, oh, well, now I need to pay for the Nintendo Switch for the online thing. As far as the games, the launch games, I mean, I'm a Nintendo dick rider. I'm not necessarily a major Donkey Kong fan.
Come in.
It never goes on sale, which it never will. That's not one I'm looking forward to. Mario Kart, I'm up in the air about. Like, if it's going to be like an $80, $90 game, like, look, Nintendo games always hold their value really well. Also, I've always said that if a game is worth the price, if it's got replay value, if I find the value in the game, that's fine. Go back to the PS1, PS2 era days. Games would drop anywhere from $20 to $50 depending on the game itself. And then we hit this weird thing with like it was the 6th or 7th generation on where like everything new is $50, $60, whatever. So yeah, I'm a political junk at the end of the day. I love paying attention to politics and news. Anyone that didn't see this coming is I'm sorry, it means you weren't paying attention, because this isn't just affecting video games. This is affecting the world we live in as a whole. I expected this. If it wasn't Nintendo that was going to do it, then Rockstar was going to do it with GTA. If it wasn't Rockstar that did it with GTA, Bethesda was going to do it with fucking Elder Scrolls 6. Like, at some point, this dam was going to burst. So it doesn't really matter who did it to me, because to me it was going to happen no matter what. So yeah, point is, Direct, I think for the most part was largely great, except for the launch games. I'm more looking forward to the upgraded Switch games. And then the negatives came later on after the Direct.
Yeah. So for me, when it came to the Nintendo Direct 2, I didn't have any low expectations, but I also didn't have any high expectations. I just went in and was like, look, all Nintendo Switch 2 for it to like really get to me is it just got to have enough horsepower to be able to run games that the PS5 is running and the Xbox Series X is running. It just need that third-party library. If it is able to keep up with the third-party library, with sprinkling in with their first-party support, then I'm a happy camper. That's all I pretty much need. And I said games need to be 60 frames per second. A lot of these games need to at least have 60 frames per second. So going into the Direct, and they hit us with that Mario Kart World, and then they was talking about it goes the frame rate of the Switch can handle games up to 120 frames per second. I was like, holy shit!
The camera can't though, because you buffering like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
You looking like a Switch right now, son. Anyway, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So especially when they showed Metroid Prime 4, and it was like, yeah, you could play 4K 60 frames. Like, what? 4K and 60 frames? Not 4K 30, or 4K 60. And then it was like also 1080p, 120 for 120 frames. I was like, okay, all right, now you definitely got my attention, Nintendo. But as far as like the first party lineup of the games or the launch or whatever like that, yeah, it could be it's something to be desired. But then I also thought about the Nintendo Switch 1, their launch library, like at the on launch day was pretty ass. You know, the only real headliner was Zelda Breath of the Wild, and it was able to carry the Switch. It was more so the games during the launch year that really helped Nintendo, especially when it came to third party and when it also came to their first party lineup. So I'm not really too worried about that because we got Mario Kart World, and then that next month we got the Donkey Kong Bonanza that's coming out as well, which I think also looks pretty cool. And then of course when they showed off the Nintendo GameCube on the online service. Now when it comes to the Nintendo game, the online service itself, even though I use the online service, I never dabbled in any of the games, like the NES games, Super NES games, and 64.
Really? You didn't?
Yeah, I never really. I ain't played. I never downloaded not one of them on my Switch.
Bro,
I
never used. Got my Super Nintendo set up, and like Super Golden Ghost one of my favorite games of all time. But like for the convenience of my Switch is already connected on my TV, like I'm gonna play Super Ghouls and Ghosts right there.
Yeah,
and I ain't no fucking cheater and use that rewind function shit. I still play it. Anyway, yeah, no, I'm surprised because I love using that shit.
Yeah, man. I never
use it much, but I did manage to play Breath of Fire too, which was pretty insane because it was a game I always wanted to play, but it's like, oh shit, they have this on here. Let me fuck around. And it's actually, I enjoyed the experience, but it's for like some games, like I heard some N64 games, I don't know how they run and shit, so. It depends on.
The game I played was Ocarina, but I didn't have any issues with it. I mostly used it for the NES and SNES titles, but yeah, no, I didn't have any issues with Ocarina, but I don't know about any of the other games that they launched with it.
Yeah.
Or Majora's Mask, not Ocarina, my bad, Majora's Mask.
So Talcum X from the comments, he was saying that he'll be using the mouse move for sure. So what do you think about the mouse move? Like, what do you think about that?
I'm wondering if it's going to be like the Hey You Pikachu peripheral for the Nintendo 64. Of like it's going to be used for one fucking game and that be it. If you're going to include a feature like that, it's gimmicky. You need to be able to use it on like if you drop a new Zelda game, it needs to be for some of the puzzles. You need to be able to use it for that. Or I think they said you could use it with Mario Party. So yeah, we need to see some integration with it if you're going to put all that marketing and advertising that new feature.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically it could be cool, but also, usually when I use a Switch, I'm either flopped over on a couch or in my bed. If I end up getting the Switch 2 in the long run, I guess taking it to work, I could use it on my desk maybe. So that could theoretically work. So I mean, it's a nice extra feature. It gives you a different way to be able to play games, and I think that's cool. But I mean, it's very situational though.
Yeah, like me, when it comes to the mouse control, I don't really see myself using it. I saw the demonstration at the Treehouse where they showed Metroid Prime 4, where they showed the mouse controls and things. And when I first saw it, I was like, I know the fiends who play like first-person shooters or just shooters in general is going to probably eat that shit up. But I do like the fact that how seamless it is. You can just go straight to mouse, like go into that position, and in the game, especially for Metroid Prime 4, the crosshair actually changes when you go into mouse mode, and you can start just using it as a mouse and everything, and you can go right back to your motion control feature again, just like that seamlessly. So I think it's pretty cool. But like Leon said, they better have games, like a lot of games that actually utilize that shit and everything. And also, Landon Arts said, quick question for y'all. Is the Switch 2's 7-month lineup better than the Wii U 12-month lineup? That's a good question.
Wii U only have like fucking Rayman? Like
I can't remember the Wii U lineup like that.
I didn't bother buying a Wii U until Mario Kart 8 came out.
Oh, really?
I didn't buy one until Smash Bros.
Yeah, I got mine on launch. It was on like what? It was my senior year of college, and my dad had got it for me. And it really had nothing. There was nothing.
HD, if I recall, it had Wind Waker HD, Zombie U, and I think it had was it Rayman Legends?
It had at launch. It had the new Super Mario Brothers U. and it was Zombie U. Wind Waker didn't come out until years later for the Switch. Well, not Switch, for the Wii U.
Wait, are you sure? I thought Wind Waker was a launch title. I didn't remember.
Nah,
Okay.
Nah, it was late. It was later.
Mm.
But yeah, that was the only two like Wii games really, and the rest was just like third-party ports from Xbox 360 and PS3 games, because you had Darksiders 2 that was ported over and stuff. It was a shitty launch.
I mean,
I don't know if it was launched, but you got some of the Call of Duties.
Yeah. Ghosts.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that since we can't even remember what the Wii U launch lineup, like launch year was, probably the Switch 2's launch year or 7 months is pretty fire. I mean, I think people are low key sleeping on the Donkey Kong game. Just
really, it looks dope.
Looks insane. Like I love the look of it. It looks really fun, and I'm not a Donkey Kong, fan by any means. I mean, but I just see the vision, man. I think the vision is fire.
Yeah. I'm not a massive Donkey Kong fiend, but I respect the property. I got all the most of the Donkey Kong Country games. I did get Tropical Freeze for the Wii, for the Switch or whatever like that.
Fire game too.
Yeah, it is. And
that game was supposed to be a launch title, then got delayed by like a year. Tropical Freeze.
Probably.
What was it? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be a launch title because they advertised it around launch, but then it got delayed.
Oh yeah, it's so. When it comes to the Wii U, bro, with the launch, dude, I cannot remember. I was starving for games for my Wii U. It was like the launch was really, really slow. Titles were coming out really, really slow for the Wii U. So anything that came out, I was just
hear that to the Wii. We fucking ate with the Wii on its launch, because I didn't get one right on launch. If I remember right, it launched in like September, but we got ours for Christmas that year, so it was only 4 months later. And bro, we got all the games. Bro, we got like Resident Evil 4 was there pretty much on launch. We got all the Nintendo shit. Like there was Wii Sports. We had a banger launch.
Yeah. I didn't get my Wii until because that year you couldn't find it nowhere. I couldn't even get it on Christmas, so I got it the next year on my birthday. Dad. One day he was just going to the bank, and right near the bank there's a GameStop. So Dad saw these four ladies sitting outside the GameStop before it opened up. So my dad was like, "What's going on?" So my dad walked out the bank and he asked the ladies like, "What's going on? I see it's a little small line out here." We just found out that they're going to have a shipment of like 6 Wiis. And so my dad's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna just sit in this line. My son's birthday coming up, so that's how you end up getting it." Yeah, that's how you end up getting it. Yes. So when I came home for spring break, I was just watching. I was on my computer, and then my dad came in and just sat this bag on my lap. I was like, "What the hell is this?" I over there, like, "Oh snap!" Like, "Oh snap!" Like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, so that's how I got Christmas. That. And the big game that I wanted was Red Steel, and I hated it. It was fucking ass.
I didn't even bother to get Red Steel. I like the thing about the Wii. I was kind of like disappointed in was like. I know graphics is not everything, but it didn't look that much different from what we had with the GameCube. You know what I'm saying? Because we already got the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and I was like, man, like I'm impressed with the 360 and with the PS3 is putting out, but I said, man, this looks no different than what I'm doing with the GameCube and stuff. It just got motion controls to it, so I didn't bother with the Red Steel. Never bought the second one either, but yeah, that Donkey Kong though. I wasn't expecting Nintendo. I was expecting the Mario platformer, but instead we get the Donkey Kong platformer, which is nothing wrong with that, because I remember when the GameCube came out, we didn't get Mario Sunshine to the next year, so we got Luigi Mansion instead. So I was like, okay. Yep. So
remember, people were disappointed in that shit.
Look! I'm not going to even front on you. I was one of those motherfuckers that was disappointed. I was one of those motherfuckers that was disappointed because. Well, for one, I remember when Nintendo had their own convention called Space World, they were showing all these tech demos. You know, they showed Legend of Zelda, they showed Link fighting Ganondorf, and then they showed Luigi Mansion. But remember, at the time when they showed the Luigi Mansion tech demo, he didn't have the vacuum cleaner backpack. It was just him in a mansion. So I thought that was going to be like a 3D Mario platformer, but with Luigi as a headliner. So when we finally saw Luigi Mansion, I was like, "This is Ghostbusters? It's not a platformer. What the hell is going on?" Yeah. So I was kind of one of those people. Same thing with Wind Waker at first. I was the biggest Wind Waker hater when he first revealed it, because I was a fucking hater. Because remember, we didn't have social media. You had Game Facts, you had forums and stuff. And I was like everybody else. I was hating my ass off. I was like, "What the fuck is Nintendo doing?" First, he got Luigi Mansion. He got with a vacuum cleaner, and now we got this fucking cartoon. Zelda,
Damn.
what the hell is Nintendo doing? I was so pissed. But when they finally released,
Man, y'all were haters, bro. Wind Waker was good out the fucking gate.
I like
Fuck
Wind
that.
Waker, but honestly, I didn't play it on GameCube. I waited till it came to the Wii U.
Oh, really? Oh
Yeah,
man,
but I love it. It's so awesome on the Wii U.
this Wind Waker changed my life. Like that was one of my favorite Zelda games because it silenced me because they had that Zelda Ocarina of Time had this they was re-releasing it on the GameCube. They had like a special disc.
Yeah,
like
the
a
Master
bundle
Collection.
disc.
I have that.
Yeah, I have that. Yeah. And I remember they had like a demo disc, I believe it was, of Wind Waker.
It was the first 20 minutes of Wind Waker.
Yeah. And dude, when I played it, I was in silence. I said it shut me the fuck up. I was like, it shut me the fuck up.
Wind Waker, I've been telling motherfuckers this since like off the rip, dude. Wind Waker was good on launch. I was one of the few people making so much fucking fun of me because I'm a bit younger than you. I think I'm like 6-7 years younger than you. So I think I was in like late elementary school, early middle school when Wind Waker came out. And I was like, you can't be like 5th grade or whatever talking about how great Wind Waker is and all these other. She's like, fuck you, you're playing Grand Theft Auto. I said, no, Wind Waker's good, man.
Yeah, dude. I was in ninth. Yeah, I was in 10th grade when Wind Waker came out, and my God, dude, I played that shit. It shut me the fuck up. I couldn't say nothing. I said, damn, this shit is good.
Crazy? Like this is like unprecedented, I guess, but like the GameCube was pretty much my Pikmin console.
Oh, really?
I love Pikmin 1 and 2. Those are my favorite games on GameCube.
Bro, now no Pikmin. I had got Pikmin when it launched, and I would say this. The first game was stressful as fuck because you had that 30-day window. And bro, like you have to make sure every day fucking count. Like micromanagement in that game, people think it's a children's game. It's definitely not. It's not a children's game at all.
We're dealing in slavery. This is not a children's game.
And I didn't realize how much I loved the game.
That turned me into a racist colonizer. God damn you, Nintendo!
Yo, and I fell in love with that game, but it was stressful as fuck. I couldn't. I had like one more piece that I was missing, which was the final piece when you fight the final boss on the final day or whatever. And I couldn't beat the final boss. Like I had to just leave. I left that piece, so I never got all the pieces to the Alamar ship. But the Pikmin series is really good. I had the first one. I got the second one. Never really played the second one much because when the time the second one came out, I was in college and stuff like that, so I didn't really have the time. And then I did buy the third one on the Wii U, which I thought was pretty awesome. I never got a chance to finish that one. But let me read these questions because we have Codeman Jay. He said, do y'all think there's a possibility that the Nintendo Switch 2 would end up like the launch of the Xbox One and end up changing prices due to high amount of backlash from the fans?
Sadly, I think that people are just going to, make excuses for Nintendo, unfortunately. And I think it will certainly be more successful than Xbox One. At least, in the very least, there isn't like the Xbox One was pretty much unbuyable for me at launch because I couldn't justify paying $100 more for a fucking camera. When I was forced to buy an Xbox 360, Connect box, and I just immediately threw the camera in my closet and never looked back. Because unfortunately I fucking red ringed on Black Friday, so I had to go walk into Black Friday Walmart like at the very tail end of it, and it's like, oh wow, there's like 3 Xbox 360s left, and unfortunately they're all Connect version. All right, well, I gotta do what I gotta do. Bought that shit, brought it home, threw the Connect in my closet, hooked it up, and kept it moving. But I couldn't justify that. The Xbox, what is it? The Xbox One controller was like peripheral, like it was like their own bullshit. Like you can't just hook up a regular fucking microphone and start talking. No, like you had to buy their mic and shit. Like there was just too much nonsense. Yeah, proprietary. Yeah, thank you. And there's just like a lot of proprietary bullshit with the Xbox One that I couldn't justify the purchase of. I waited later on till they dropped the proprietary nonsense with the controller and the Connect wasn't boxed in. You weren't forced to buy that garbage. And I ended up getting like the Rare Replay Collection, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and like that what is that zombie game that they had? The sequel game.
Dead Island? Dead Island. Yeah, it was Dead Island, right?
No, it was a third person game, but it was one of Xbox's dev team.
Was it Z? Not Z Day. What was it called?
Well, it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But I got 3 games bundled in. No more proprietary bullshit. So then at that point, it was kind of worth it. even though I'm still kind of disappointed, especially when you compare it to 360. 360 is one of my favorite consoles. But
Yeah.
I think that Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be far more successful than the Xbox One ever was because there's going to be first party and it's going to be off rip first party, and then there's going to be, Nintendo is very consistent with their first party releases.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, that's the one thing to always be excited about. There's going to be genuine excitement for the Switch 2, even with the nonsense that they're pulling.
Yeah,
I just
I
don't
read it
think it's going
already.
to be
Pre-orders
nearly
already
as
sold out in the UK. Is that true?
yeah,
Kat, you would know.
yeah, I heard, yeah.
What happened?
Pre-orders for the Switch 2 already sold out in the UK.
Yeah. I heard about that. I mentioned that actually on my Twitter that some places, some countries, around the world that had the pre-order thing, was just like people was just eating it up. And I know scalpers can playing some part in that, and everything, but this is going to be a heavily desired console to have. But to answer your question, Cole J, um, as far as them lowering the price because of backlash, I don't know. But I mean, there is a
Yeah.
history of Nintendo doing that when that was with the 3DS. If you guys don't remember, the 3DS was $249.99. That was like the most expensive handheld. It was almost up there with consoles for a handheld. And it had a week launch. It had a week library for that price. And Nintendo, it was a bunch of articles. Like Nintendo, it said Nintendo 3DS was a failed launch. And it was the first time I've ever seen a handheld from them that like bombed the way it did. So what they had to do to convince people, they dropped it from $249 to I think $169, especially here into the States. But would they do something like that for the Switch? I doubt it, because if people want to play something and they really want something bad, especially in this time, in this era, people's going to buy it. People's going to buy it no matter what the price is. I'm one of them motherfuckers here. Like I'm getting the Switch 2. I'm pre-ordering the Switch 2. I'm getting Mario Kart World. I'm getting Donkey Kong Bonanza. So that's that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so to move on. Oh, wait. Got another one. June Raff says, do y'all believe Sega has a chance at coming back with consoles? Nah. That's it for Sega.
They play too safe. They're I always say that they're like that cheap uncle that's even cheap with themselves. They've gotten a little better. I'll give them that. They've gotten a little better. But yeah, not enough to be like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll risk it all for bringing back our next Dreamcast 2. Let's go. Like, no.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think that's ever going to happen. So I think people should put that dream away. So the next the next part we're going to talk about on the topic is the $80 price tag of Nintendo Switch 2 games. And people were upset about the $80 price tag, and Nintendo had finally responded to it and everything. And there's IGN article that talked about it. It says Switch 2 exclusive Mario Kart World justifies its $80 price tag. Nintendo insists in first comment address cause controversy. So Bill Trenton, he is the president of product and player experience, and he pretty much gave his opinion about the pricing of why they decided to price Mario Kart or even other games at $80. So from his quote, he said, well, again, what I should say is that we just look at each individual game and we look at the content and the value of that game. And then we say, what is the right price for the value of this entertainment, he said. And then to continue on, he says, what I would probably counter to some of that is that really what you're looking at is for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That's the physical price for somebody that has not bought the base game. And that's something that I did mention. For somebody who has bought Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, the upgrade packs for those are $9.99. But if you happen to have a Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack member, which I'm going to end up getting, or I have anyway, both the Nintendo's Zelda upgrade packs are inclusive within that membership. So there's no additional charge for those. But I think overall, our general approach is really just to focus on what's the content, what's the value, and what's an appropriate price based on that. Now, the only thing is, when it comes to this, when I thought about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, when that released on Nintendo Switch 1, that shit was what, $70?
Yeah.
That shit was $70. And to me, I thought that the Nintendo that Tears of the Kingdom was a glorified DLC of Breath of the Wild. To me personally, I don't think that was worth $70.
See,
But
I mean,
and
I
I have the
thought
exact opposite opinion, which is wild.
what's crazy
I
is
still
I
like Breath
thought
of the Wild better, but I wouldn't call it glorified DLC. I put hundreds of hours in each game, like hundreds.
this fiend.
you know what's crazy? I thought that the reason why Tears of the Kingdom was a $70 game was because it was going to be a confirmed, like, instant, like, more like a switch to, upgraded title. So it's
Hmm.
like I thought people were essentially how naive I was. I thought it was kind of like, oh, I guess people are just prepaying for the upgraded version of
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom with the Switch too, because it would definitely incentivize people to be like, oh shit, all right, I already got the game. Let me go buy the system. Like, no, no, Nintendo can't be so kind and courteous, and in the because the $70 price tag was already rough in terms of the
Hmm.
discourse.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
it would have been a nice payoff to be like, yeah, you guys paid a little extra for this game. Games are going to be $70 now. We're being nice and kind of giving you this, this kind of give me. You already paid the 70. You can go run and play Tears of the Kingdom at the upgraded, upgraded frame rate, resolution, whatnot. But no, we can't have nice things.
Yeah, yeah. That's how, and because me personally, when it came to Tears of the Kingdom, I thought this was going to be that window where we was going to get the announcement of the Nintendo Switch 2, and around the time that this game is going to release, that it's going to probably be like one of those cross generation games that's going to cross over. But boy, was I wrong. They definitely did a number with that. But yes, when it came to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition cartridges, when I seen the price, $70 for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition cartridges and everything, I was pretty much saying the same thing that Bill Trenton was saying. I said this is more so going to be for people who didn't buy either Breath of the Wild, didn't buy Kirby, The Forgotten Land, or Tears of the Kingdom, or whatever Switch 2 editions that they're going to have. So now these gamers are going to come in and get the full package that's going to be included with it and everything. You know, the 60 frames per second, higher resolution, and everything like that. And then some of these games are also priced the way they are is because some of them are like mini expansions, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's also going to have some new story DLC and new levels and stuff like that. That's also packaged in it as well when you do this upgrade for your Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So yes, so it appears that this is going to probably be most likely be case by case basis, but I think the $80 game is going to definitely be here to stay.
It's so
So
confusing and annoying.
I definitely hear it. I definitely hear that. So what are your overall thoughts, Leon, with the $80?
First of all, I want to make it clear that so far, when it comes to the $80 price point, the $90 price point, the difference between digital and physical, shit like that, we've only seen this, to my knowledge, announced for first-party games. So Nintendo knows the value of their shit. Like, again, I remember buying Tears of the Kingdom not Tears of the Kingdom, Twilight Princess for $50. Good luck finding that shit for $50 now. It's like $100 or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a Wii game, Wii U, even Wii U first-party titles are more expensive. Like, Nintendo knows their first-party games hold their value. Also, do you know how many first-party Nintendo games I've played over and over and over? Like, depending on what game it is, man, I honestly may get the $80 to $90 for the value out of it. I truly might. The true question is going to be, these third-party games end up having that same price point, or are they going to be worth it? Because if you're going to try and tell me they're going to be putting out a Call of Duty game on a fucking Switch 2, and that thing's going to be $90, yeah, no, get the hell out of here. I ain't paying no goddamn $90 for Call of Duty. I'm hard-pressed to pay like $40 for Call of Duty. Like, dude, I'm paying $20, $25. That shit's going to be on sale on Steam or whatever. I don't give a shit. But if you're trying to launch third-party games that don't have that same level of care and quality that the Nintendo first-party games have, we're going to have issue. But can I see, like, if you told me, yeah, we're doing a the next Zelda game or the next Mario game, whatever, like Mario Odyssey 2 at $80 or $90, dude, do you know how many hundreds of hours I put in Mario Odyssey 2? I could potentially justify that. I really could. And as far as Thomas Jr. would say, when you justify it for one company, you may as well justify it for every company to follow suit. Bullshit, because it's all about the individual case-by-case basis of the game. Like, I can't even justify $90 for all Nintendo games. I'm saying the games that have the value there. Again, I put, hundreds of hours into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Hundreds in each of them. I probably got a total of 1,000 hours between those two games. I paid $60 and $70 for those. You tell me $60 and $70 for games I've got 1,000 hours in? That's a steal, bro. You go to the movies for 2 hours, you pay $40 if you include popcorn and shit like that. Like, No, you're getting cents on the dollar depending on how much you play this, how much replay value there is. So no, for me, it's all about the quality of the individual product, individual game, shit like that.
Wait, you actually pay for a movie?
Bro, the theater is my church. Yeah, I go to the theater all the time. Like,
I go to the theater, but I also stop by the corner store beforehand. I'm just saying, brother.
I got one of them high class fancy theaters that's also a bar and restaurant in the theater. So like, I'm ordering like nice high quality food and like tequila shots and shit like that while watching my movies. So
especially the theater that I have too around where I live at. They even like you press a button like on your seat and they will come out and ask you like what do you want.
I don't know if yours is an Alamo Draft House, but that's what mine is. Alamo Draft House. There's a button at you sit down at the seat. Yeah. There's a table there and it's got menus and you press buttons and they bring like
you hear these city folk. These city folk.
So point is when I be going to the theater, that's for three of us to go to the theater between tickets and food, it's like $100, but it's a experience.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is an experience. But yeah, so after we got the with the backlash and everything with the prices and we get information, people saying Mario Kart is $90, and then people said spreading information of $90 games, and we found out that it was in the UK that it was going to cost $90.
Fucking annoying, bro. I'm just sick. It's like it's just weird because it's like now you have to be concerned with so many different factors around the pricing. Like everything's different now. And then you have like key carts and versus actual cartridges. So it's like there's like so many like you might as well be PC gaming. Usually I go to a Switch or like a console to not have to worry about minute bullshit. Like it's just ridiculous to me. It's just extra for that. It's like I even simplify everything on my PC for the most part because I don't really want to deal with the extra bullshit. And still you do have to deal with extra bullshit on PC, but that comes with acknowledging that you're on PC. Just to end up the fact that they make it difficult to make a consumer buy something, that's never really a good thing. Usually you're supposed to just simplify shit for the sake of, hey, just make it easy for a consumer to understand what they're buying. And this just is the complete total opposite.
Oh, so we got a super chat from Levistro. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Question. He said, milk, cake, Kool-Aid, and has Kaz owned Leon yet for a Leon take?
No, but it'll happen.
I'm gonna be nice to Leon because he's gonna have something to say on SNH. I'm gonna have to stop him. I'm gonna let him live today.
It's Saturday to crucify me. Awesome.
Hell yeah. But like with the pricing of the games, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I mean, $80 sucks. I was gonna justify it, but the reality is we all have limited resources. Like money is finite. If I spend all this money on this one game, I buy less games. Like that's what it is. I could buy two $40 games or I could buy a Nintendo game. And so it's just, I buy less games and I could live with that in terms of how that is. It sucks, but I could live with it. But that doesn't bother me. It's more so they're just anti-consumer and just kind of disrespectful behavior. That's really getting to me and that's making me like, I don't think I want your system anymore. That's what bothers me more.
In general, I would agree with that, Cass. The only difference is I'm very hard pressed by third-party games on Nintendo 9 times out of 10. That's why I have a PC. PC is for everything but Nintendo. Now, there are some games I buy third-party because they feel right on. Like, Sonic feels right on Nintendo console. Now that Sega's out the game, I would rather play Sonic on a Nintendo than on the... Now, I buy those games on my PC as well because they perform better.
I prefer Sonic on Xbox.
No, dude, you're fucking retarded. That's okay.
Man. Like, let's be real now. Sega was like, well, fuck this. We ain't doing consoles no more. Let's go cozy up with Microsoft. They did it. Yeah, it is what it is.
I guess it's because, like, I don't know. Like, to me, the point is those sort of, like, mascot era, like, family-friendly sort of games feel at home on Nintendo. The Spyro Reignited trilogy, I had it for PS4. When it came to Switch, I also picked it up on Switch. I picked Sonic games on Switch. So there's certain third-party games that have sort of like a Switch vibe. Octopath Traveler, that felt like a Switch game because, it was like old school Final Fantasy, which was on Nintendo. But if it's a game that 9 times out of 10 is third party, I'm going to get that on fucking Steam or something. So in general, I'm not really buying less on the Switch because I wasn't gonna buy that other stuff for Switch anyway. I was to
Mhm.
me, Nintendo shit's for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Right, I got you. Now, when it comes to the whole $80 game with me, personally, yeah, I can afford it. I don't mind. I'll pay the $80, but it does, like Cassie says, you'll spend, buy less games, especially for that year and stuff like that. And for me, I'll probably end up doing that anyway, because me, my backlog is just fucking crazy. Like I'll buy games and just throw them on my shelf, and I'll get to it when I get to it, and never get to it and stuff.
Yo,
So
bro.
now I can't, at the same time, am I willing to just pay $80 and just to throw it on the shelf and play it later? Like,
Nope.
so and then on top of that,
I will say that's what's made me really happy about being a content creator, though. Is like before I would do what you did. I would buy games, sit on the back burner. Every now and again, though, motherfuckers will gift me a game and be like, well, I can't let this one sit. It was a gift. That'd be a piece of shit. So now it's like, okay, I'm playing all these games that would have absolutely been on my back burner, but because it was a gift, I gotta play the motherfuckers. So that's been a boon.
I think it's fair to say that if, say, for example, the original Splatoon came out on the Wii, on the Switch, what is it, the Switch 2, instead of like back in the day on the Wii, for example, the Wii U, excuse me, I probably wouldn't have, made fun of it. An $80 game, Splatoon, the fuck is this bullshit? This Homo sapien bullshit. I'm playing these squid fucking inking bitches and paying $80 for that. I would have made fun of that shit. At 60, I gave it a try and I enjoyed it. I'm kind of a little burnt out on Splatoon after 3, but I definitely see myself being more judgmental and making fun of stupid shit and not giving shit a chance when it deserves it, but especially at these price points, so it's hard to justify me going out of my comfort zone with the games that I know that I like, and that's kind of a shame because I ended up finding some gems going out of my comfort zone and trying something new, and I'm less inclined to do so given prices of these games are fucking ridiculous.
Got a super chat from Dash Attack VTubers. Shout to guys. It said, I'm setting my money aside for the Switch 2, but man, I feel dirty about it. At least I'll be able to get Donkey Kong, drop the price. Yeah. That's another thing too. I like during Nintendo Switch 1 launch. Because launch is where I go crazy. Like I want to get some accessories. Now it's like now you gotta think about it. Because when the Switch 1 came out, I got the amiibos. I got 2 amiibos for my Nintendo Switch, Breath of the Wild amiibos. For my Nintendo Switch 1. I had got Breath of the Wild itself, and I had got a Pro controller. So I spent some fucking bread on that. But now you gotta consider $80 games. And so now you get a Nintendo Switch 2, which is $450, which I don't mind that price at all for the Switch 2. I was kind of expecting
amiibos pricing.
No, I ain't seen amiibo. What?
Some of them, they're between $20 and $30 now.
Get the fuck out of here! They won't be getting gotten.
Nope. You know where all my amiibos ended up? In a bag that's placed in one of my drawers. I don't even display them anymore. You think I'm a bro? It's so crazy. It's like you caught us in the moment with the Switch. But I don't think that's gonna happen like it did, last generation. That's crazy.
I got a bunch of amiibos. He's still in the box and everything. But yeah, I boxed them up and threw them in storage. Like I had them displayed and I took them all down and stuff. But now can you imagine the $80 game? Now I'm spending $450. What if I went 3 games, but all of them like $80 and shit like that? Like that's crazy. And then I do want a Switch 2 Pro controller, and I think the Switch 2 Pro controller that's $80 or $100. I'm not sure. I think it's $80. I also want I know I can use the Pro controller from the Switch 1, but I do want a Pro controller for the Switch 2 as well. And that's hefty, man. That is hefty.
Yeah.
And I also said too that when I get the Switch 2, I said the benefit of the Switch 2 for me at the time when I was thinking was like, the backwards compatibility. I said I better go play a lot of my favorite games and stuff that's still in the plastic and stuff. And then that's when they had pretty much put on the website, or different websites was putting a list of games from the Switch 1 that's having compatibility issues with the Switch 2. And I'm like, God damn, it's a whole list. But the funny part about it is a lot of these games I happen to not have with some of these games. But seeing River City,
before we go super far, can I also address that one part of that super chat from Dash Stack?
Go ahead.
No, do not drop the price. In fact, make it fucking more expensive. And don't actually make it more expensive, but don't drop the price. And I mean this. Here's why. Other companies are going to use this as a chance to jack their rates up fucking good. I want them to, because that's an even faster way for the industry to fucking die. We all know that AAA gaming, aside from Nintendo and like a few key titles, has been dog shit for a while now. So if these other AAA companies think that, well, Nintendo raised the price, so can we, they speed running their death, son. Don't drop the price. Nintendo, they're gonna be fucking fine. Nintendo games are always quality. Those gonna sell. These other, bro, Ubisoft tried selling Assassin's Creed for 120 fucking bones with a 3-day early access, as if, that just means everyone else getting it 3 days late, and motherfuckers didn't buy it. So yes, make the base price $100. I don't give a fuck. These companies are speedrunning their own death trying to copy Nintendo. So no, don't drop the price, because I want to see these other fuckers die.
Dope. So we got another super chat from Livistro, $10. Appreciate it. He said, I'm gifting you Ravengers now, Leon. My friend gifted me that. You have to suffer too. Also, as a Zelda fan, Breath of the Wild mid, Tears of the Kingdom is Fortnite and sucks. I'm not paying 80 for Legend of Zelda at this rate.
I have no idea what Ravager is, but I'm terrified. Anytime you give me something, I assume it to be a meme, but I will still say I appreciate it and thank you very much. As for Zelda, look, I get why people don't like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And to be fair, I said after Breath of the Wild, I like the game. I do not want this to be the formula going forward. If there's going to be a direct sequel like Tears of the Kingdom, okay, it makes sense to have it the same formula. That said, make those two one-offs. I like them. They're good. They're unique. In fact, I would even dare to say Breath of the Wild is truly great, but I still do think the traditional formula, the Ocarina of Times, the Wind Wakers, the Twilight Princesses, shit like that is Zelda. That's what we should get back to. And so, yeah, in a way, I agree with you, but I also disagree. Either way, thanks, Mel.
Do you think people will see the same kind of value in a traditional Zelda game? Because it does seem smaller in scale.
I mean, it was smaller in scale due to hardware limitations. When Twilight Princess dropped, that shit was, dude, that open world was massive compared to even Ocarina. When Ocarina came out, that was a game-changing game. So do a classic style Zelda, but on something the size of a Switch 2.
This is the thing. This is the thing. Breath of the Wild.
You're cut. Your mic short.
Your mic cut.
Crack.
Oh
there
wait,
you go. You're back.
I heard it again a little bit. Uh-oh.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Mugen got.
Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
There you go.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, now Breath of the Wild. Now I will say this: when I first played it, and I love their introduction. It's teaching you the game, and then you go out into that vast open world. Beautiful, love it. I think what my issue was, I got burnt out of it so fast. I got bored of it. The open world is vast and big, but it didn't feel rewarding. I didn't feel any reward of going out there, exploring, climbing up all these, rocks and mountains and stuff, just to find a rupee or find a weapon that I already have that can break and stuff like that. And then you have this massive open world, but it just felt so empty. I like those.
I agree with those criticisms 100%.
Yeah.
I actually think Tears of the Kingdom, that's one of the few things Tears of the Kingdom actually improved upon, which I think the open world was a lot more rewarding. Breath of the Wild, I don't think was rewarding until it added certain amiibo support. And it went a lot. The amiibo support, in my opinion, went a long way towards helping Breath of the Wild. But Breath of the Wild was it was a weird game because I'm a lore hound, and for me the game had almost no story to it, which I liked because you had to put it all together visually. So there's value in that for me.
Bro, that's what angered. That's the thing is that's what angered me because I'm a lore buff myself, and I think when it came to early Zelda games, you don't really think about the story much. It's just a story to set you up to play the game, to explore, solve puzzles. But Ocarina of Time really started introducing, some story bits, and Ocarina of Time had really got me interested.
Even Link to the Past, really.
Yeah. But it was more so for me, Ocarina of Time, and then Wind Waker, dude. Wind Waker really did it for me. Wind Waker really did it for me with the storytelling and stuff. And the thing that really disappointed me when it came to Breath of the Wild, remember when they did the advertisement, they started showing the trailers, they were like story segments. You seen cutscenes and everything. And then when you finally got the game, all those segments you saw were Zelda memories. And all of it was optional. All of it was optional. And I said, wait a minute. So I can totally ignore the story, or I have to explore the map just to find these little story bits. And then you have to piece all that together. I'm like, no. I wanted a Zelda game with linear storytelling, massive open world, linear storytelling, an epic adventure and stuff. and it needed more NPCs, like more towns, more NPCs. I did like those little segments where you would see an NPC walking around and then a monster would attack them, and you have to, fight the monsters. So I like the little stuff like that. It needed more of that to make the world, and I think that's what my issue was, and also the shrines, dude. After a while, I got tired of the shrines. There was so many of them.
I do like people. It got to the point where like doing shrines, I was hoping it was a combat shrine. I was like, dude, I love Zelda games. I love puzzles. I love puzzle-based games. My favorite series is Resident Evil. OG Resident Evil games are puzzle horror games. That's what they really are. However,
bro, puzzle horror games.
You get fucking. It got to a point where shrines was like, all right, I get it. There's a million different ways to do this. And if just give me a combat shrine so I can blitz through it real quick, get the fucking orb, up my life a little bit. Like Breath of the Wild got a lot of criticisms, which is why again I didn't want it to be the Zelda, and still don't want it to be the Zelda formula going forward. However, there's something about those games that's and maybe it's the art style, maybe it's the ambient music. I do like the visual storytelling. You have to figure shit out for yourself. Like, oh, this is a location from Ocarina. How far into the future are we? Things like that. I think I gave Breath of the Wild like a 7.5, 8, or an 8 when it came out. Now I give fucking Ocarina a 10. I give Twilight a 10. I give Wind Waker a 10. Like again, I'm biased. Zelda's one of my favorite series, but so yeah, I'm right there with you. I by no means think the Breath of the Wild is a perfect game. I also was a diehard hater of them changing Link's green tunic. I think that was a mistake. I think to this day that's a fucking mistake. So yeah, give us a new Zelda game. Put Link back in his goddamn green tunic. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude. That's another thing. Before I answer your question, that was another thing about Breath of the Wild, dude. Like I would never do a second playthrough because I did everything in one playthrough. I completed all the base shrines. I think it was like 121 or 120 shrines.
120.
I did all of them in one through, and I got the Hylian shield, and I also had got the tunic. And the thing that pissed me off about the tunic, I finally did all that shit. Got the tunic, and the tunic was ass. You had to upgrade it, but the material was rare material. So you had to get those drops. I said, you know what? Fuck it. Put my other gear I had previously on and just beat the fucking game.
I would just go through it. That's why I said the amiibo sport went a long way. I beat Tears of the Kingdom in the Twilight Princess Breath of the Wild in the Twilight Princess outfit that was getting from amiibo drops. And I probably wouldn't have played Breath of the Wild again. Like I said, one and done. But I did everything, every shrine, every side quest. Like there was literally nothing left to do. And then 2 weeks before Tears of the Kingdom, I was like, I wonder if I could 100% this game before Tears of the Kingdom comes out. And so I did. I put in I would get off work and just all night play Breath of the Wild, and all night, and then just do 100% again. But I just wanted to see if I could 100% this massive game in under 2 weeks before Tears of the Kingdom dropped, which I did, by the way.
So all right. So Paul said, curious, being from the UK, how much is $80 Mario Kart plus tax, as UK prices include tax? Is Don Matrix secretly advising Switch 2 launch? Yes, because there was an article where Nintendo and them said that there's always the Switch 1, but they was pretty much saying that we know it's expensive, but that's why we still keep in production of the Nintendo Switch 1 for those who want to get the Nintendo Switch 1 and everything. I mean, I don't think that's the best way to tell consumers, but
It's
yeah.
so annoying. And on top of it
I
all,
made an ignorant ass post about this, and Cassie corrected me on actually. So they were asking me earlier if Cassie felt to me. She did on X, and I didn't even know it. When I read that statement, it wasn't his statement. It was a headline from a different article, and so it read as just like, hey, if the Switch 2 is too expensive at the time, just know they're going to continue supporting Switch launch releases. And I'm like, why are people bitching about this? PS2 was making PS2 games 6 years into the PS3. Like, this is a good thing. And then Cassie made a fucking video about what was the wording that homie used, that Doug Bowser used. I was like, oh, he said it like a dick. It's not what he said, it's how he said it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. There's so many different ways that could have been addressed. Just don't talk about your audience as though they don't have money ever. Like, just don't do that. It's really, that should be like a simple thing. Like, just don't ever address an audience in a way that they're, short on cash. That's just an easy way to kind of avoid situations. But I'd go as far as to even say, like, I think it's ridiculous to advertise an 8-year-old product that is still still overpriced. Like, the Switch 1 is an overpriced product. There's no way that the system should cost nearly as much. in this time period as it did when it launched. Those should have got hit with a price cut, and that would have been a nice way to be.
OLED came out.
Yeah.
Mm.
The OLED. What is it? The OLED came out like what
2022, I think.
2020. Holy shit.
Maybe 2021.
Yeah, if they would have just. Do they even still sell the regular Switch without the OLED model?
I have no idea. I got their OG Switch, and my brother traded his. Keo traded his OG Switch for an OLED. So
the
he has
regular OG Switch shouldn't even exist. Like it's fucking crazy. That's the thing. Like the OLED model should definitely go down in price. The light should still be there. What is the light, like $200?
I can't remember. I bought my daughter the light when it came out. I don't even know what the price was at that time.
And the light is a nice device, but you know that OLED model should go down in price. He should have hit them with like, look, you know, we're you know, we still intend to sell Switch 1, and here's a nice little price cut for y'all. We have this lineup for you guys, and for you know, to allow you to take your pick at what you feel it works best for you. With the upcoming, you know, official launch, and keep it moving. Like, there's so many different ways to go about this. You know, I think Nintendo is just as much as you want to pretend that everyone's broke, the way that Nintendo chooses to conduct itself makes me feel like they're fucking broke. And we know they're not broke. You conduct yourself like you're fucking broke. Like,
no, in fact, not only they're not broke, but so I remember reading this article back in the Wii U era. So because the Wii U was so disastrous, there was this marketing firm, and they put out this article. I think it was in Forbes, and they stated that this is the amount of money Nintendo has. They could spend. It was something like they could never produce another product, never make another game, and spend like $100 million or $10 million, whatever it was, a day for the next 200 years before they finally go bankrupt. And that was after the Wii U when they were at their lowest point. So like if they could last another 200 years without making a single dollar for 200 years back then, they're probably fucking fine, especially now.
Yeah. Yep. And then Lavistro, $5. Thanks again. He says hashtag Link is left-handed in Kokiri green tunic. I'm actually left. I'm a lefty myself. And then hashtag Kokiri are fairy kids, not tree things. Hashtag put Zelda back in a dress and long hair. And hashtag I'll die on this hill. Now
I don't necessarily care about the dress and long hair part. There's different. Zelda gets reincarnated over and over.
Breath of the Wild Zelda. She's my favorite incarnation of Zelda. I love Breath of the Wild.
Twilight Princess, bro. Breath of the Wild Zelda's up there, but Twilight Princess is the best Zelda. Also, Tetra and Wind Waker. Tetra, bro. Tetra, a bad bitch.
No. Yeah. You know, that was the biggest surprise when you find out that she was like the descendant of Zelda. I was like, oh, what? I was like, oh my God. It's like, yo, man, it was like just like, I love that story. Wind Waker just had so much charm to it and everything, dude. Like, I just love everything about it. But as far as prices are concerned, like, we got the $80 game and stuff and everything. And like you said, man, I want them to raise this fucker up so we can get like a crash and all that type of stuff. I also believe that there is a limit to what people is willing to pay. And right now, $80, people are willing to pay it. I think even $90. But I think once we get into that $100 range, I think that's when the industry is going to just implode on itself. I really think once we get to the $100 game, I think people will say, you know what, I had enough. I can't do the $100. You know, and you know how many games that people could probably buy a year if every game is $100.
Goddamn well, when GTA 6 comes out and it will cost $100, motherfucker's gonna buy it.
Look, the reality is a lot of people don't want to be honest. They will say, yeah, I have no problem paying $100 for games. But guess what? Whether they want to be honest or not, they're going to buy less games. Don't bullshit us. Stop fucking lying. You can put up that. It's all a fucking front. When you're saying, oh, I have no problem paying $80 for games. Bro, take all my money. You're still going to have limited funds and you're still going to buy less video games because they cost more. Like, stop bullshitting. I hate people that are full of shit.
See, but can't you make the quality over quantity content argument of like, you might buy less, but like, if the quality of those games is of a higher quality than just the mass-produced shit you buy for sale on Steam because you're waiting for Steam sales because it wasn't worth the money to begin with, I would rather pay more and have less in terms of quantity if it's better quality. There's so many games I have on Steam, I would not have bought it full price, but I will always buy a Nintendo game if it's a Nintendo game I want, at full price.
Well, I think it's there's multiple variables when it comes to buying video games. For me, a big factor is time. I just don't have enough time to justify buying all these fucking games day one, even if they
Yeah.
deserve it. And it's sad to say. Like I wish that I want to reward a good product with money, but the reality, if I can't find the time to play that good product that's worth the entry, asked price, I sadly just don't buy it because it's just not. I can't personally justify,
Man,
whereas
I can't remember, but I think the only game I bought day one in 2024 was Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That might have been my only day one game like the entire year. I gotta go look at my Steam, but I think that was literally it.
Yeah.
1 second, guys. My cousin here, he had backed VK, my comic book, so he here to pick up his book, and I have to sign it quick. So they'll keep it going, keep the conversation going.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, but no, like Cass, because you talk about buying less games, and
I'm good.
Not including Nintendo. What was the last game you bought like day one that you needed?
Oh shit. Well, I mean, I buy a lot of games day one. It doesn't mean that I get them at full price. If that makes sense. There's so many different like websites that offer different prices.
Well, you don't buy games day one; you get games day one. There's
that too. I mean,
you say you get them day one. That's fair. What was the last game that you're like, I don't care if it's 60 or 70, I'm getting it now? Like, can you even think? Because again, what was Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? Was like what, July of last year or something?
Yeah, and that was gifted to me. Shout out to Adriano. He bought that for my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still
I
even
will
fucking
say,
challenge me in that yet, bitch. Anyway, go on.
You know what's crazy? I haven't played it as much as I thought I would. I don't like the controls.
I haven't either. That's just because there's been a lot of good games releasing and stuff like that. And like, I beat Goku's story twice. I think I beat Vegeta's, and I haven't gone through and done any of the others. I haven't done a lot of the extra side content.
You know what it is? The game, I was under the impression it was going to play exactly like, the Tenkaichi series. And it doesn't. I can't even figure out, like, my brain was busted. And I'm like, why the fuck does it not feel like
I can tell you exactly why. Because it only added a handful of new mechanics. But the new mechanics it added made it more of a technical fighter than the Tenkaichi games ever were. Because those are party games at the end of the day. Yeah. Every character was pretty much the same. It was just like different looks and shit. In this, you've got to hit certain blocks and triggers at the correct time, stuff like that. Things that make it, I mean, it's still no Dragon Ball Fighter Z or anything like that, or Dragon Ball Fighters, but it's far more technical than Tenkaichi ever was before.
But there's like a button or reverse, something's not the same.
Fuck, what's that called? Like
there's at least one thing that's not the same in terms of the button placement.
See, I had it on the Wii, so I was never really familiar with the button placement to begin with, because I had Tenkaichi 3 on Wii, which was, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to have that copy because that's like the hardest copy to get now. But yeah, the button placement was gonna throw me off anyway.
Yeah, I had on PS2, but yeah, that was the one thing that just kept throwing me off at that game, and it's I definitely want to go back to it, and I probably will at some point, but I didn't play it nearly as much as I thought I would, which is kind of sad. But a game I will be buying day one without even consideration is Expedition 33. That game looks like what Final Fantasy should be in modern day. It was one of the games I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know that it's going to be day one for me, just because my main goal after Vegas is to completely upgrade my PC. And so depending on what that takes, depends on what games. If I didn't have to upgrade my PC, that would be a day one for me, 100%. That game looks, to me, it looks like a perfect blend between like a between a Final Fantasy and a Persona game, but from a Western, but made in the West. I'm like, you know what? If the West is finally learning how to do like Persona and Final Fantasy the way it should have been done back in the day, I mean, learning style. That learning to have a style.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Expedition 33 definitely on my map.
That game is like $45 on Steam. Like, I can actually buy it off Steam for it's so like crazy to me because like it looks like a full on JRPG game that would be priced at 60 or even 70 in modern day. But yeah, it's on like a mini sale. I think the main price is like 50, which is crazy. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. You guys are fucking sick. Like, you make me want to go out of my way to support you. Absolutely.
Doom Dark Ages will probably be worth it. I don't know about day one. Like, I think it'll be worth whatever. Like, if they price it at 60, 70. I still don't know if
that shit is gonna run on your PC, bro.
Again, like I said, PC is gonna be upgraded regardless. But dude, the games I can play are really hit or miss. I mean, like, I got no issue running. For example, what's the new Pirate Yakuza? No issue running that. Like,
no, I want to try that, but I'm not like I've only played Judgment, and I really love it. I need to play like this year. My goal is to play Lost Judgment and get through that. So I'm gonna hopefully start that soon. We'll see what happens.
I hadn't played any Yakuza games since the PS2 era. Like Yakuza 3 or 4 or whatever was the last one I played.
Dude, Judgment is insane. Like Judgment in terms of story is one of the best stories I've played in so long. I can't even remember like the last story that even comes close to that. The combat's really good. I heard Lost Judgment. It's like the story is almost as good, but not quite. But the combat's way better. So
to be fair,
that's exciting.
I don't. At least going off the old PS2 days, I don't really need a great story for Yakuza. I need a fun story, not necessarily a good story. You know what I mean?
Judgment is great. The story is phenomenal. I love Yagami. He's such a great protagonist. He's one that I can respect. Whereas, like, I tried Yakuza 7 and Ichiban. He just comes off like a fucking retard, and I can't really take him very seriously. And that bothers me. As much as I thought that he'd grow on me, and he's kind of silly, but maybe I like him. He likes Dragon Quest like me. Maybe I'll fuck with him. I can't stand that motherfucker. Like,
well,
so
now, Dathip, this is where I'm going to get felted by Cassie, because he says Fallout 5 and Elder Scrolls 6 will probably be day one buy for me. Here's the dealio. I do not fucking trust Bethesda day one as far as I can fucking throw them, and yet I'm such a disgusting simp for Fallout 5. I still would probably buy it day one.
Oh my god!
Like I hate myself for it. I feel disgusting, but it's true.
Yeah. You know what? To be fair, I bought Starfield day one, and I bought the most expensive version. I regret that shit. So sometimes
I bought Fallout 76 day one, and same thing. And then most disappointed. I got that and No Man's Sky day one. I'm pretty sure they were the same year.
I got No Man's Sky day one. I got the more expensive version too. I didn't get the collector's edition, but I got the one that comes with like the art book. Oh my god, the internal trying to cope. Like,
dude, but both those games have since been fixed. I am glad and proud about that. It's like it's. I don't want to reward studios for like putting out broken, shitty things and then fixing them. However, the level of fixes that went into both 76 and Fallout and No Man's Sky are so over the top, more than they even had to do, that like I can't help but be like, okay, this does make up for it. I heard Cyberpunk was the same way, but I never played Cyberpunk.
Do you like? I consider that they make it right. You fuck up. The thing is, you can't like. History is history. You can't change it. But how do you? What do you do from that fuck up? They made it right, and so like I can't really. We don't pretend that it never fucking happened. Like there's some people that just outright will pretend that Cyberpunk was never fucked up at launch, and it's like I just want to fucking honestly, I just want to fucking Hadouken the shit out of these people, or Shoryuken preferably. But there'll be people that pretend that it was never fucked up to begin with. It's like, really you gonna lie to my fucking face? Like, I played the motherfucker on PS5 day one, Cyberpunk. Like, you're fucking insane.
And to this day, like, it's not even that I don't have an interest in playing Cyberpunk so much so as I spent so many years making fun of motherfuckers that bought that on day one. Now if I buy it, it's like,
oh my god,
shit, I'm gonna have to eat some crow, because I did fuck up my No Man's Sky and Fallout. So I can talk about how, since I made that mistake, I can talk about how good. But yeah, after all the shit I've talked on Cyberpunk players, like, I don't know but I do want to play it. People have really been telling me that it's good and that I should play it. So
yeah,
we'll see. Cyberpunk's doing that thing that I do, games in general. We can get your opinion on this one. Mugen's still busy. I'm so fucking tired of games putting celebrities that look exactly like the real, like, celebrities in them. So, dude, if you want to voice act or something, be fine. But unless they're actually being themselves, like it takes place in the real world or whatever, I don't want that shit. It breaks immersion for me. I love Keanu. I don't want to see Keanu, Johnny Silverhands. Voice him, sure, but I don't want to see it.
Usually I don't want to see it. But that's because most of the time I just hate celebrities. But at the same time too, I just don't hate Keanu Reeves. I don't hate what's the black English guy?
Terry Crews?
He's in the DLC of Cyberpunk.
Oh, Idris Elba?
Yeah, I don't hate Idris Elba at all. Like, they actually pick people that are likable. So I don't mind it. Like, I can excuse that. But generally, rule of thumb, I don't want celebrities in my video games, because I think most of them are just a bunch of rich bums that probably have children in their closet.
Yeah, shit. That's all I thought that was going. But no, I remember the first time it happened to me, and it struck me as like, this is weird. And it was at PT, you got the trailer for Silent Hills, and
Yeah.
I saw Norman Reedus and everything. I was like, okay, it's cool that the graphics are so good. We can completely recreate celebrities, but also, dude, that's gonna be distracting. Like, I want a Silent Hill game, and I'm just gonna be thinking of the fucking Walking Dead. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's distracting to me.
Yeah, it's I mean, again, they pick another dude that I don't hate. And it's like, as long as you do that, I don't care. But, yeah, at some point, you're gonna run out of celebrities that I don't hate.
Right. You know, actually, they're putting fucking, like, Mark Hamill looking like himself in a goddamn fighting game, and oof, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, Leonards, I never addressed this. I'm sorry. Question for Leon was Princess Peach Showtime Wars 60. I didn't play it, so I couldn't tell you. Like I said, because that came out after Tears of the Kingdom. I've not bought a new Switch game since Tears of the Kingdom because I mostly use my Switch for Pokemon Unite and Smash Bros. Like I said, I'm a competitive Smash Bros. Player, and I try to be a competitive Pokemon Unite player. So that's it for me.
All right.
Maybe I know a lot of people liked it.
It's
All right. So, did you answer Leon's? It's a question that Leon had from Landon. He said,
"Yeah, I actually just finished answering
okay.
it. As you got your
okay,
headset
cool.
We talked about a bunch of shit while you were gone. So,
okay, cool.
I do
Good,
have one question though. How do you feel about the next Onimusha? Basically the person that they have, like the face claim, is essentially what is the name? Toshiro.
Is he an actor?
Mifune. The dude's been dead for like years. Like, I don't know how I'd feel. Like, yeah, he's he's one of the most famous Japanese actors. He's been in a bunch of Akira Kurosawa movies, and it's like, yeah, Toshiro Mifune, he's been dead for a really long time, and I'm cool with it. But I also know if like a game decided to rip James Dean, face claim James Dean as like a main character, I would probably go apeshit insane mad. Because first off, they probably make him a homo, which would definitely trigger the fuck out of me.
I default to the way I feel about this, same way I felt about the Ghostbusters 2020 or whatever it was, Ghostbusters, whatever. The one where they brought back Harold Ramis posthumously. If the family is okay with it, they sign off on it, and it's done respectfully, then I'm cool with it. If you just do that shit because, oh, hey, his likeness is in the public domain or whatever, that could be an issue. Like, if they made a James Dean game, and I don't think James Dean has any surviving family, but I could be wrong. But
he has a nephew.
Okay. So if the estate oversaw like how the character was done in the game and whatnot, who am I to judge if his family's okay with it?
Yeah.
I respect that stance because I think when I seen Alien Romulus, the android dude from Alien,
Ian Malin,
his family gave the okay for that, and he said I think his wife or somebody said that he would have wanted that, and stuff. So I've seen that. I love Romulus. I liked that movie, but anyway, I loved it. Yeah. But so there is also another thing that people were questioning or asking about the Nintendo Switch. Will it have achievements? And it was confirmed that the Nintendo Switch 2 won't have any achievements. So how do y'all feel about that? Start with Leon.
I read an article, and I could be misremembering it, but it said it won't have it on the system. It'll be on like the Nintendo app.
Okay. Why the fuck?
I don't. Look, I'm a trophy hunter. I'm an achievement hunter. Do I want this shit? Absolutely. Because again, that's how I know if I want 100% of the game. I'm working for the fucking Plat and DMC5. So yeah, I want a trophy system, an achievement system. But by the same token, a lot of Nintendo games are collectathon style games. So you already have that built in, just a different name. Like in Mario Odyssey, you want to collect all the moons, and it tells you once you've collected all the moons, like you get unlocked and special shit. So
yeah.
For collectathon games, it doesn't. Do I want them? Yes. Is it a deal breaker not to have them? Also, no. And if you're going to give us a meet in the middle where it's on the app, again, I use the Nintendo app anyway for like my Smash Bros. Recordings, so I'd already be using the app.
Right. What about you, Cassie?
I'm glad that they don't have achievements. Fuck these people that live to show off digital trophies to other people. You are a bunch of fucking Homo sapiens. I don't play video games to please other people. Like, I play games to enjoy myself. Like, fuck you. I just think it's such a. If that's what's keeping you from buying a Switch 2, first off, that's the biggest fucking cope. Like, you know what? You're brokies. Like, if that's really what's keeping you from buying a Switch 2. I mean, if they added it, I wouldn't really care either way. But I just don't. This is a nothing burger. Like, get the fuck over it. I'm glad that the Switch at least feels different from everything
Mhm.
else that comes out. I think that's an important thing because there's a lot of people that are just like, well, I wish that Nintendo made a home console.
Well, did you know that
And
some Switch games do have achievements in them?
yeah, they do, and that's
Do
Hmm.
you know
fine.
why that is?
Is it? I don't know. I just felt like they just felt like doing it.
Because they're ports from the PS3 and PS4 version. So like
Uh-huh.
every Resident Evil game, for example, on Switch has achievements. Like Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil Remake, all that. They've got the achievements just because the ports, so they'll auto proc and you can go in and look at the achievements. But even though the Switch doesn't have an achievement system, those games, it's pretty great. I love
Yeah.
that. I think it's funny as shit.
I mean, like I hear a lot of people like that are just not. No, they don't want to play Nintendo games. Like, just be honest. You don't want to play their games. You don't care about their system. You don't like their games. But their whole cope is, well, I want Nintendo to go back to making a console, and I want them to add achievements, and I want them to do everything Xbox and PlayStation do. Then enjoy your fucking Xbox and PlayStation, asshole. You don't want Nintendo. Oh, I want them to still have all the games that all these systems have. No, you don't like Nintendo, and that's fine. Just stop fucking lying through your teeth about it. Like, I think it's so obnoxious. And then another thing I ask these people, did you buy the Wii U? No? All right, shut the fuck up then. Like, stop it. You want a PS5. You want an Xbox. That's fine, but please be honest about it instead of bullshitting Nintendo like, oh, I would totally buy it. No, you wouldn't, because you would have fucking did.
Yeah, like achievements. I
Look
I
at
never
this
cared.
fake female gamer not wanting to complete games, trophy hunting at license.
I never cared for. I never cared for achievements. I remember when it was first introduced on the Xbox 360, and I was like, okay. I said, cool, I guess, or whatever. But I was never a person that wanted to hunt down achievements. I just want to play the game, beat the game, move on to the next game,
Oh, you're
and
so lucky
everything.
you never got into that phase.
Bro,
Bro,
Yeah,
there's well,
achievement
here's the reason
hunting.
I do like achievements. There's like obviously they're not good for every game. The achievements in fucking Insomniac Spider-Man was gay as shit. You got all of them, but like fucking 4 just by playing through the game. However, there are some games that are like they've got some really weird, unique things that I would have never tried if I wasn't looking for the achievement. Like
mhm.
or they're rewarding players for things they were doing back in the PS1 days. We didn't have achievements, and being able to say, yo, can you beat Resident Evil 1 with using only the knife? Because I can. And you like challenge your buddies. That means Capcom recognized that there was a culture of people doing knife only runs. So now when there's achievements for it, it's like Capcom being like, we saw what you were doing on the forums back in the day. Like, I like shit like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I don't really care for it. It always surprises me when it pops out. It's like, oh, cool, I guess.
I got like 17 or 18 platinums on my PlayStation, and half of those are games that I cannot fucking stand. I hate them. I got the platinum for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Playing that game, I wanted to slip my fucking wrists.
Oh my god!
Like, you're just enticed to play the game so long that you just end up fucking hating it, and that's what trophies really do to me. And I end up hating the games that I ended up platinuming. It's like, why did I even bother?
To be fair, on launch, Kakarot was another one of those not great games to begin with. Like, I heard the DLC and shit, like, because it's continued to get updated. I've heard of Kakarot for the last year and a half. It's actually been really good. But man, Kakarot was lacking on that.
I had no faith in that game. I had no faith in that game.
They were calling Harunga Shenron, and mentally I was checked out.
I don't know if I ever even fucking made it dynamic now that I think about it.
And then they were too cheap to pay the Trunks' adult voice actor because like that you're supposed to do this thing. So they had fucking Laura Bailey voicing future Trunks. I want to jump off a cliff.
Are you
so disgusting.
Fucking serious?
And then you
I did not know that.
And then you got to play as future Trunks for a fucking grand total of 5 minutes in the whole game. And I'm like, wow, I bought this game and played it looking forward to the point where it's like, oh, it's future Trunks' time to shine. Oh, we're going to skip over that and make it all DLC.
To be fair, it's called Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, and you spend most of the goddamn game as Gohan.
Like, exactly.
What?
So sick. Like, it's so disgusting. Like, bro, and then Gohan's modern, like, kid voice actor is horrible. The original voice actor that voiced Gohan made him, despite being a child, sound like normal toned and level headed. Like, modern Kid Gohan voice actor is a fucking squeaker. It's so annoying.
Oh my god. Oh, so we got a super chat from Laristo again, $5. Appreciate it. He said basically Hollywood is OCP right now. OCP treated Murphy as property because legally dead,
Yeah.
no human rights, even in death. Hence, RIP, honor the legacy.
You're not lying. I can't wait for that war movie where they CGI James Dean into it to come out so I can just go ape shit insane, fucking butthurt angry the whole time. This is one of the things that I think about at night sometimes.
I'll be real. I got no fucking idea what OCP is. So
OCP is
from RoboCop.
Yeah, RoboCop is like the main
The company.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back in
evil
just a moment.
corporation.
And let's see. Let's move. So another topic here is, and we're moving along pretty well. So yes. So damn. So the whole thing about the Nintendo Switch 2, when people saw the price and then saw the prices of the game, people automatically at first blamed it on the tariffs. And in my personal opinion, I thought that was the stupidest thing that people were pretty much suggesting. Because for me, in my personal opinion, I was like, if that was the case, then why didn't the PS5 price go up? Or why didn't PS5 games price go up? This was just Nintendo charging $80 for fucking games. So what are your thoughts on the whole thing with the whole tariff, with the delay that Nintendo delayed the pre-orders, wanting to wait out?
Yeah, that's... Oh, your mic shorted. So when it comes to the whole tariff situation, you can't really blame Nintendo for, this. Like, obviously, this is a world economic situation that that America is basically creating, and hopefully it ends up for the better. But until then, like I've already been under the assumption, I'm gonna have to eat some L's in terms of costs and whatever have you. Like, that's just what it is. People can bitch and whine about it all they want. It's not like it's gonna change the situation. But that's not Nintendo's fault. As much as everyone wants to pretend everything Nintendo does isn't their fault. But as for the price, I don't think the price of the console is the issue. It's just all of the extra like surcharges that are the problem. It's not buying the system. Maybe the price is a little front loaded and that's fair, but it's all the fucking surcharges just to be a fucking gamer that's just a bitch. It's so annoying. Like, it's just obnoxious. Oh, I gotta pay for this. I gotta pay for that. Oh my god. It's like, fuck off. Like, stop it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Leon, about the whole tariff thing? And
I'm gonna have a real unpopular opinion about this one. I do not give a fuck. Like, if you gotta wait, if you gotta make it more expensive, and here's why. At the end of the day, I'm a gamer. I love games, but I'm also a political hound, and we in some weird spots in the world right now, and we are, and to me, I'm loving it. I'm loving. We're living in a fucking cartoon. I'm loving this trade war. I'm loving seeing how this is panning out. I'm loving the tariffs. I'm loving just going to fucking town against China. All that shit to me is A, far more entertaining, and B, far more important than whether or not Switch 2 gets delayed in America for a few months or a year or whatever. Like, bro, I'm gonna get the Switch when it comes out, and if it means I gotta wait for it. I got a PC. I'm still gonna be able to play Smash Bros. I've still got cool anime coming out that I can watch. I can kick back and fucking play guitar. So I'm far more interested in what's going on the political world stage to really let like the Switch 2 affect it.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely had the same opinion when it comes to that. And plus, Nintendo came out and said, no, the tariffs, had nothing to do with this or whatever like that. They came out and said that. So
we're greedy as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I remembered, I was like, I'm pretty sure I covered some Switch 2 leaks like 8 months ago, like back when fucking Biden was still in office. And so I went back to my my tweet history, and I was like, I fucking knew it. And so I posted a tweet of an article from like, I think it was like August of last year. So back again, so when Biden was in office, and it was like rumored launch price for the Switch. Guess what it was? $449.99. Bingo, bango, bongo. Your boy was right on. It's like, yeah, whoever was in office and tariffs and shit, this shit was gonna be $450 no matter what. Now, if the tariffs do play a part now, and it turns out, hey, it is delayed in the West, like they're saying, yeah, I still don't care. I'm loving where we're at politically, and I want to see more of that shit.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So now we're gonna talk about Nintendo is like with these damn cartridges. So there was controversy talking about, there's like 3 different type of cartridges. You have your key cards, which we're going to be talking about right
Someone
here.
needs to explain this to me, because for the life of me, this might be a good thing, by the way. I'm just not sure, because I don't know what it means. This is one of the issues I'm having. I've been dick riding Nintendo up at this point, but here's where I'm going to throw a fucking bitch fit. I don't understand the differences in these cartridges and what they mean and shit, and I'm young. I'm a gamer. I'm not some 60-year-old mom that calls every system a fucking Nintendo. What are you doing? Market this better if it's a good thing. And if it's not a good thing, why are you doing it?
Exactly. So, all right. So here's the breakdown on this. Well, for starters, we already know that you have your standard Nintendo Switch cartridges. They go from anywhere from 32 gigabytes to 60 something, 62 gigabytes, something like that.
64, I think. But yeah.
64 gigabytes. And then you have your cartridges where you have your Nintendo Switch 2 editions, which is the Nintendo Switch 2 edition cartridges is pretty much the Nintendo Switch 1 port of a Nintendo Switch 1 game put onto a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge, and it comes with the add-on. You know how you pay for your add-ons for your Nintendo Switch 1 games and stuff? It comes with the add-on included with the Nintendo Switch 1
on the cartridge, or is it still downloaded?
The add-on is on your cartridge and whatever like that. So if you already own the original game, then you have to go and buy the add-on or whatever like that. Well, the cartridge factors in the price of the add-on that's included with the Nintendo Switch 1 game that's in the Nintendo Switch 2 edition cart. And then here we have the key cards. Now, the key cards is essentially what they're doing here on the Verge. It says you can borrow and resell Nintendo Switch 2 game key cards. So essentially what happens is with the key cards, it's pretty much how you remember how with some Nintendo Switch 2 games where you will buy the box and you open the box, is just a fucking code in there or whatever like that of a digital game.
This has been a thing since at least PS4. Like you bought Spyro Reignited Trilogy. Only the first game was on the disc, and you still had to download Spyro 2 and 3, and that shit was gay as fuck.
Like, yeah. Well, the difference is you're just physically buying a game license, and they're just outright saying that to you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so what it is, yeah, exactly. It's a digital game that's on a cartridge. And I guess it's also for those who still want to collect physically, like boxes and stuff, and I guess have that feel of having a cartridge inside of a box. So essentially what that key card is, there's no game. There's no game on the card at all. There's no game. It's just a permission key.
Unlock key.
So yeah, exactly.
So when you do download the game, does it download to the cartridge or still to your Switch?
No, it's on the cartridge itself, because what Nintendo said is you can still trade it in and people can still buy it and use it and stuff like that.
So basically what's going to happen is that you put the cartridge, the key card, into your system. There is no data on the card. It's just, hey, the license is here. You know, now system download the game. Whereas with the Switch, you didn't have to download the games in order to play them. So they would just be on the actual cartridge itself.
Yes. So what the key card does is you put it into your Switch 2, and you need an internet connection. It's a one-time thing. You only do it one time. It reads the key card, and it pretty much says, okay, that this user has permission to have access to this game. And then you don't have to connect to the internet no more.
In the last 3 minutes, you've explained this better than any fucking article I've read or how the Nintendo Direct did it, so this doesn't actually sound bad when you describe the 3 different types from the way you were describing it, but by God, they are not marking this properly, because again, even as a diehard Nintendo fan, I cannot wrap my fucking head around this.
Now the issue is what people are having with this problem is because they're afraid that third-party companies are going to take advantage of this. So
of course they are. I mean,
so they believe that a lot of third parties are not going to put actual games on regular Switch 2 cartridges. They're going to just start putting them in key cards, which means you don't actually have the game on the actual, a card itself. It's just a digital game with a key with permission and stuff like that. For example, Square Enix is they remaster Bravely Default, which was a DS game, and they're actually putting this as a key card game. And people say, wait a minute, like, because the first reasoning that people were saying that, well, when some games are super huge and they can't fit it on a cart, they'll just use the key cards for those specific reasons.
Oh, but even that isn't acceptable, though, because it's like the fucking Switch 2 itself only has 256 gigabytes of storage space. Obviously, some of that is going to take up for future updates. Like, I think that they really just dropped the ball because everyone was celebrating. Oh my god, it's not 32, it's 256. I'm like, hold the fuck on. These are to be bigger games. Like, relax. Let's actually see what the deal is. And it's like, dude, if you have these games that are just key unlocks and you're fucking like 60 to 100 gigabytes, it's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah, and people say like, well, that's not no excuse why whatever because CD Projekt Red fit the entire Cyberpunk on a 64 gigabyte cartridge because they were saying that third-party developers is going to try to avoid the 64 gigabyte cartridge because it costs more money or whatever like that. So instead of using the 64 gigabyte, they're just going to just put that shit on a key card because Street Fighter 6 is also on a key card as well.
You know how much money they made off The Witcher 3 being on a key cartridge on the Switch?
How much?
They made almost no money on that product.
I mean, to be fair, maybe it's because people are finally realizing Witcher 3 is overrated. So.
Not at all. I mean, whether you could believe that if you want to, but that's not the case in the eyes of the people. It's just the key cartridge, a 64 gigabyte key card. I mean, excuse me, the cartridge. I need to stop saying key card now.
All right, so what? 1 second, got a super chat from Common People. He said, "Did I miss Cassie showing her feet yet?" Oh my god!
No, you didn't. Stay tuned for the rest of your life until you die.
Oh my god! But yeah, continue. Was you saying, Cassie?
Yeah. So basically, the 64 gig cartridge is retardedly expensive to the point where it does affect like profit overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in this article, though, they were saying that what Nintendo did with this key card thing, they're doing like a hybrid, like a cross between physical and digital. Because for the fact is that even though it's a digital game, there's no game on a cartridge, you can still be able to sell this, trade it in, and people can be able to still, buy these key cards used and still be able to play it. So it's like it's a digital game, but at the same time, it's acting as a physical game because you can still trade it in and hand it off to other friends and stuff, and they can use it and everything.
There's no way the value is going to be there in comparison to like an actual cartridge. Just no fucking way the values can even compare to each other.
I'm not inherently against this idea because it does seem like a safe space or a space saver. There we go. But it also doesn't really appeal to me as like you said, a collector. Like if I could have a physical cartridge with the game on it, why would I buy a fucking key card? Like, I get it, like what you were saying with like some re-releases and stuff. And you know what? If they decide to only remaster Twilight Princess on a key card and like I want remastered Twilight Princess, sure, I'll get it so I can say I have it. But like, is that gonna be? I will never choose a keycard version over a version that actually has the shit on the cartridge already.
But the thing is, I don't think that we're gonna have that option. That option is virtually not gonna exist. They're just gonna do either the cartridge if it's financially viable, or they'll resort to the keycard, and that's where it really sucks. That's where it's like, okay, I don't even want to buy physical media anymore for your system, let alone buy a lot less games.
Yeah, and also too, like I was telling people, don't be surprised that the Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is going to be key card and not an actual game on a cartridge.
I'm surprised people are buying these goddamn Final Fantasy VII remakes when they fucking suck. Now, I swear to God, these rumors about a Final Fantasy IX remake are real, and they do it like the 7 remakes instead of just giving us a ground-up remake of 9 the way God intended. Fuck you, Square Enix.
Yeah, well, the rumor for Final Fantasy IX remake that Jeff Grubbs and many others that I was hearing for the past couple of years, they were saying that it's supposed to be a faithful remake. It's going to be turn-based. It's not going to be as far as graphics. Yeah, as far as graphics, it's not going to be on the level of Final Fantasy VII remake, but it's going to be an ambitious remake or like that.
You do with Final Fantasy IX what you did with the Crash Insane trilogy, what you do with Spyro Reignited, just ground up remake, keep everything the same, give us some quality of life shit, upgrade the sound. That's it. Final Fantasy IX is my second favorite Final Fantasy. And it's the best of 7, 8, and 9, in my opinion. So, yes, just give us a faithful remake of that. None of this reimagined shit like they did with the recent Final Fantasy.
Yeah, so question from Landon. He says, question from Mugen, Leon, and Cassie. It says, how do you feel about what DLC for $80 Switch games would cost?
I mean, DLC is DLC. DLC's always varied since the inception of DLC. Some DLC is $5, some's fucking $30. So I don't think the price of the base game is going to affect the price of DLC.
Yeah. Another thing too. Another thing I think is kind of shitty though. With the whole Nintendo Switch 2 edition cartridge with the Breath of the Wild is that they're not including all the DLC like that came out for Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's people have been saying that. That's I got some mixed opinions on that. Like, it's not like it's a Game of the Year edition. So, like, of Breath of the Wild, like listen, Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition had all the DLC and shit like that.
Yeah.
But this isn't this Breath of the Wild upgrade isn't being poised as like the ultimate edition, the
Right.
master collection, things like that. So it's like
It should be though.
I don't know if it bothers
should
me
be.
or not.
Yeah, I would think it's going to be a deluxe. It should be a deluxe. I
It
mean,
should be the definitive edition of the game. What is there to argue? You have a new system. You're bringing the old game to the new system, bigger and grander than ever. It should be the definitive, complete version of the game.
yeah, man. Yeah,
What
that's
is
why.
I wonder why they're not doing that. Like,
Because they
it's
think
easy
they
to
can get
chalk
away
up-
with it. That's why.
Well,
That's the only reason why.
It's easy to chalk it up to that being the reasons. Like, oh, because we know people buy the DLC a second time. But like, even by Nintendo standards, that it seems to me like there's got to be more than that. Like, it doesn't. I don't know. This seems like there's something more to it, and I don't know what it is. It could be just for financial reasons, but I feel like there's something more to it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
They need
But-
even I was shitting on PlayStation when they have these director's cuts of their games. But at least those were actual completed versions of the games, even though they went up to like the $70 price tag. Like I was stingy even with that. This is just like, well, take this fisting to your ass, consumer gamer. Like that's just crazy to me.
wow.
But
Yeah,
people gonna buy that $110 version of Last of Us Ultimate Edition. or
Oh
whatever the
my
fuck it's
god.
called.
Oh my god. I just
Uh-huh.
saw that. I'm like, what the fuck? But yes, I've been seeing debates. People were saying, Nintendo Switch 2 versus the Steam Deck. Like, people were saying that, as far as like the Final Fantasy 7 remake, they were saying that it runs better on Nintendo Switch 2 than with the Steam Deck. It was running, and
I don't
also
see a comparison
Cyberpunk.
between the two, man. They're two, like, the only comparison between the two is that they're both consoles. I remember back in the day, people were comparing the DS and the PSP, and like,
Mhm.
yeah, they're both handhelds, but that's where the beginning and that's where it begins and ends. I truly don't see the systems having enough in common to compare them like that.
Right. So that was pretty interesting. I was seeing that everywhere, and people's going back and forth with that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, we'll talk about just the future of gaming. What do you see? Where you see where gaming is headed within the next 5 years? Where do you see it? Starting with Cassie.
Yeah, that's kind of tough. I think that there's gonna be some publishers that we have that ain't gonna exist no more in the near future. First and foremost, Ubisoft. Yeah,
Oh shit!
so many motherfuckers is cut. They have ran themselves into they've either quote unquote played themselves into a corner or ran themselves into a wall, whatever you prefer as the analogy. But I think that really a lot of these smaller games made by under 10 people are going to continue to take off, and I think that they're going to be able to form their own studios, and they're going to be able to
Mhm.
compete in grander scale. Look at Schedule 1, made by one dude, and off to the races, which is
I played it for
insane.
the first time a few nights ago, and holy shit, I had no fucking idea how to play, and I was like
Yeah.
getting arrested left and right, but it was fun. I was having a good time. Like, it was harder selling drugs in that game than it was selling drugs in real life. As
Oh
someone
my
who's-
god, no!
Oh my god!
Like, that's the awesome thing about it. We're seeing, I think in comparison to film as well as music, video games, you can have just that one asshole that has an aspirations to make a video game, and they're able to do it, or just, your friends. It's harder to make like a film that is going to get at least a general level of respect. You have to do a lot of shit in order to do that. Same thing with even music. Like, everyone's basically shitting, out music, even with AI. And it's like this
Mhm.
giant ether that, I don't know how to even remotely dissect. Whereas with video games, they have a real chance of just popping off without even any advertisement, really. Like Schedule One wasn't advertised. It was
Dude,
put in the
word
hands
of
of
mouth,
gamers
it
and
just went
streamers.
viral.
Exactly, and that there's no other form of entertainment that's quite like that. So I would
Mm-hmm.
like to see these smaller creators form their
I
own
wouldn't say there's
studios.
no. I mean, you see that with movies. Like, remember when what's that? God, Shields Are Not for Sale, Angel Studios movie. Motherfucking. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it was made by Angel Studios about like the child abductions and shit. The child trafficking.
Oh,
Sound of Freedom, right?
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom.
Yeah, that movie.
So
Yeah.
that movie got no advertisement, but it
yeah,
blew the fuck up. Godzilla minus
yeah.
one had a $15 million budget, next to no marketing, blew the fuck up. So I think actually you are seeing this in other mediums, and people are actively, I think, more and more normies are rejecting the mainstream of most entertainment mediums and actually going out of their way to. Is it a 1-to-1? Not yet, but I do think we're seeing a cultural shift in general.
Yeah, no, it's definitely fair to say too. With gaming, I think it's just you can be more at the bottom in comparison to film, at least in my personal opinion. Because we're comparing like Godzilla to like this one asshole that decided to make a game about selling drugs. So like that, it does help having the Godzilla IP in all fairness. But
Fair enough,
it is no doubt that is a great point as well. It is capable of happening in the film industry, but I think that it's a little more like from 0 to like 1,000 in gaming, which is still really awesome to see. And I think that a lot of these AAA developers are going to be dethroned, and they're gonna have to fucking humble themselves. And I hope so. I would like to see, instead of them dying, they humble themselves and recognize the landscape and how their influence is definitely in question. I hope that they become better publishers overall. Like,
Well, see,
please become better.
earlier when I said I want to see
companies.
a diecast, the add-on to that is I want to see it then rise like the phoenix from the ashes. Like the video game crash of what was 82 gave birth to what would become the NES and not didn't give birth to NES, because I mean a lot of that, there's games on the NES. But the point is, it gave rise to a whole new era of gaming that lasted for like 30 years. And so I want to see another crash, because once we see it die, then the rebirth can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think AA gaming is going to be the one that's going to be doing all the heavy lifting within the next 5 years, because as I mentioned even on my channel before, man, a lot of my favorite producers and developers, man, they're leaving these legacy studios, and they're taking people with them and starting their own studios and stuff, because even they admitted themselves, like, yo, like it's the politics within the company, and they're not allowing them to explore, experiment, and try
Shinji
different
Mikami,
things, take risks.
He went AA with that. What was that sound-based game? Hi-Fi Rush. Shinji Mikami, the guy that fucking made a Resident Evil, went AA with an anime-based sound game, Hi-Fi Rush, and it was one of the best games of all of 2023.
Yep. And that's
I'm glad that they're breaking away, but I also keep hearing like, hey, this person died, that person died. Oh my god, they made this game that I love. Oh man. Like, there's also like the true visionaries of gaming that are fucking dropping, which sucks too. But I hope that they do break away from AAA and go more grassroots.
That's what I'm hoping for. So, as far as consoles within the next 5 years, or the next generation consoles, because a lot of people talking about them already. Do you think they're going to prioritize like digital consoles over disc drive?
Bro, Xbox
consoles?
is cooked. If they release one more console, it'll be the last. Nintendo and Sony are going to stick around. Nintendo and Sony, and I'm not even a Sony dick rider. I'm not a fan of Sony. I mean, I know Cass gets her fucking bread making fun of Sony ponies, but like, Sony going to outlast Xbox. Like they are going to going to straight up Dreamcast themselves. What you can call them, unfortunate or not, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I've been telling people over a long time, I need a PC and a Nintendo console, and I'm fucking good.
Well, I think it's also fair to say with Xbox, they are bridging the gap towards existing beyond a console. Like, that's the goal. They're still going to exist. It's just that they don't prioritize console anymore. That's been a thing for a while. They've created the infrastructure for the future of gaming, whether I like that future or not. But it is what it is. It's not like it's not one company that's responsible for that. It's all of them that are building towards that future. And Xbox does have the infrastructure in place to exist beyond a console. Whereas
I never would have tried Lies of P if not for Game Pass, because I'd never played Souls-like before. Like the only reason I tried Lies of P is I've never played Souls-like. I don't know if I'm gonna like this shit. Game Pass, Liza P. I was blown the fuck away.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean play only. In my opinion, treat it like a demo reel. Like you if you like it on Game Pass, fucking buy it so they get their money, because Game Pass subscription-based gaming is not sustainable. But I never would have tried the game if not Game Pass, and that says something.
Yeah. I think PlayStation's big issue is that they don't have any infrastructure to really exist beyond the console besides just porting their games to PC. And I think that they're going to run into a wall with that, because the entertainment landscape for gaming is changing and nothing's going to stop it. We can try and push back, but look at even Nintendo. They are hard-headed in some ways that they won't change, but in other ways, in order to accommodate how the gaming lifestyle, just like the business aspect of gaming, it is changing, and even they're making shifts and changes that I really don't like in order to meet that. And I don't think Nintendo needs to necessarily create infrastructure in order to exist in the future. Whereas I think Sony, they do. I think they do.
Nintendo is that, and that's the fundamental difference between Sony and Nintendo, is that Nintendo got IPs that will last generations.
Forever.
They already have lasted generations. Sony doesn't anymore. Maybe Ratchet and Clank. You can maybe say Ratchet and Clank is a Sony project or IP that still has some generational weight to it. That's it. Ain't nobody fucking. There's no generational weight to Last of Us. There's no generational weight to Killzone, because they haven't goddamn made a Killzone game in 30 fucking years. Obviously not really 30, but you know what I mean. Like, what IP does Sony have to become a blockbuster movie, or that you can make a spin-off game? That spin-off game will still sell gangbusters. Like, good goddamn well that Hyrule Warriors, the third Hyrule Warriors game that's about to come out that takes place in the Tears of the Kingdom timeline, that shit gonna sell because it's a Zelda game in some way, shape, or form. Sony doesn't have anything like that.
Which is sad, man.
Sony doesn't have basic infrastructure to like play their games everywhere. Like Xbox, you can shit on them for their console business because it is ass. Like, to be stuck on an Xbox Series X, in my opinion, that's depression bus for me personally.
Well, I ain't owned an Xbox since the 360. I felt no need. I felt no need since the 360 to own an Xbox.
But the thing is, it's like, what's the sell of being on Xbox? Hey, if I can play my game on an Xbox if I want to, on a PC if I want to, on all the PC handhelds if I want to, Xbox's future handheld that they're playing, on the fucking phone if I want to with cloud gaming, that's infrastructure. PlayStation doesn't have that shit. They don't have any of that shit.
Not only that, PlayStation had that shit at one point, and they didn't use it, so a lot of it got bought out. Like, they sold what could have been their infrastructure. Like, can you imagine the fact that, look back to the PS1, like, Crash Bandicoot was competing with Sonic and Mario. And now Xbox owns Crash and Spyro. You telling me that the chief rival of Sony for the 6th generation or 5th generation, whatever it was, now owns their two biggest mascots?
I mean, they traded. It's crazy that they kind of traded because, if you would have told me, like, 20 years ago, Microsoft's gonna own Spyro and fucking Crash, and PlayStation's gonna own Bungie. Like, I'd be like, shut the fuck up!
What Bungie been doing, by the way? PlayStation, fucking Sony bought them and ain't done dick with them. Like,
Bungie has ruined like the one game that I was looking forward to, being the Last of Us Factions 2. Like, they just
I didn't realize Bungie was the one doing Last of Us Factions.
No, they weren't doing it. So, Naughty Dog was developing that game, but then basically PlayStation had Bungie go and assess basically all of their live service games, and they said, this Factions game ain't it. It ain't gonna last in the live service spectrum, so they just canned the entire fucking project. And it's like, wait, so you let that bullshit ass like Concord come out, and you thought that was a valuable game that was capable of lasting in the live service route, but you canned Factions, the game that more than likely people would have bought day one, no issues, and would have sold very well. People would have bought microtransactions? Are you fucking retarded? Like, Bungie deserves to be canned just for that shit alone. Like, they're fucking retarded.
Yeah, because Sony, the main reason why Sony got Bungie, because they saw the success with Destiny 2, and they seen them as the masters of live service games. So they figured that, hey, if we can get these guys, we can get access to their tools and how they do things. And then because like I said, like the old executive, one of the old prior executives from Sony said that one of the reasons why he left too was because Sony wanted to start prioritizing live service games and stuff. And that was something that he didn't think Sony should go towards. So them grabbing Bungie, they thought that, hey, they can help us with our whole lineup of live service games. Then they started cutting shit. Was it the Last of Us? Then they were supposed to be like a God of War they were supposed to do, a live service game.
That shit sounded retarded.
Yeah, they cut
that.
Sony, good goddamn well Sony's gonna take another hit with God of War with that Amazon show that's gonna fucking flop. Like,
oh my god,
Halo was
bro,
already damaged as an IP, and then that Halo show came out and it tanked Halo even further. God of War, in my opinion, been damaged since that shitty fourth game. And then you think you're gonna get an Amazon show that's gonna bro?
I just think PlayStation is in this weird spot where they are trying live service and that dude was it Ryan Jim Ryan, like the way he ran Sony like a true and tried fucking boomer. He's like, well, let's make a God of War show. That would be dope, right? Let's make all this fucking live service shit. Let's make a God of War live service video game because people will flock to the IP and pay that. Like, do you not understand what people want out of gaming? Like in modern day, brother, like you're running this shit like Vince McMahon into the fucking ground. Like you need to stop. And they got rid of him. And it's like you knew, like what's crazy is they got rid of Jim Ryan before we saw the fallout that we see now. And it's crazy that he actually led Sony into the shitter.
I think the biggest mistake for Sony was just to move to California to begin with.
Yeah,
they closed down their Japanese studios.
Japanese company in name only now.
Only, like,
the moment Sony, in my opinion, Sony's a Western company.
Yeah, and I'm about to say that. That shit is West. It's West in blood and everything. Yeah, man. Like Sony, dog. They had produced some of my favorite IPs back in the day. Like I said before, the PS1 was my favorite Sony console. Yeah, I love the PS2, but the PS1 was just a fucking game changer. It was a fucking game changer for me, man, during that time. And then PS2 was just a better PS1 and everything. And then PS3, I didn't even fuck with PS3. I got a PS3. I bought games, never opened them. I still got collector's editions of games. 360 was where it was at. 360 was where it was at. That was my fucking console.
I was, again, Nintendo dick right. I had a PS3, bought it for even when it was new. I got it for $100. I have a fucking coat dealer that needed fixed, so I got my PS3 totally worth.
Oh no! I think I'm not sure if I mentioned this story, but my PS3, how I got the PS3, because you gotta remember during the time the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, we was experiencing the housing market crash during this time. The bubble had burst and inflation, it was going through everything was high. Because you remember the PS3 when it first came out, it was damn near $800 to $900 for a PS3. I was like, God damn! I was like, I'm gonna just get an Xbox 360, and then when the Wii becomes available, I'm definitely gonna get the Wii and shit like that. And what happened was after I got the 360 and after I got the Wii, I was still dead set on not getting the PS3 because it was still too damn expensive. So what happened was I said, if I would be able to get a PS3, I want to pay like $100 or something for it or whatever to get it cheap. So what happened was my uncle, my mom's younger brother, he just got out of jail and shit. So what happened was my mom's little brother got into an argument with my mom. His siblings fighting back and forth, and he disrespected my mom. So my dad stepped in, and that got a little bit crazy. But then what happened was he called my dad. He said, "Listen, I want to apologize. I didn't mean to disrespect, your wife, this, that, and the other, and your nephews didn't need to see that and stuff. So I want to make it up to you guys." He said, "Listen, I know this white boy who father owns a Best Buy and stuff, and he be just stealing from his dad, just selling shit all from the store and everything. So I know this white boy." And he said, "Yo, whatever games you want, I know I can get you whatever you want. You want a flat screen television, I can get it for you and stuff." So my dad came to me. He's like, "Yo, son, like your uncle want to ask you if you want anything." So I was like, "Yo, can he get me a PS3?" And then my brother Keel said, "Yo, can he get us a PS3?" He said, "Yeah, sure thing, nephew. I sold it to you for $80.
Bro, that's awesome.
2 days later, he came to the house, got the two. He got my dad got a PS3 too. So all three of us got PS3s and everything. And then he gave us a hug and everything. So that's how I got my PS3. $80.
That's
80
awesome.
fucking bucks for the PS3. Yup.
Yeah, dude. I like the 360. I did, but it's the memory of, again, just like yours. I have a fun memory of how I got my PS3, and then being a Nintendo fan, the Wii was where it was at. So, bro, yeah, all in all, but even so, man, I do think that was the last truly great generation of gaming, because I feel like the leap from then onward minus Nintendo and PC, doesn't fucking matter. So even with the PS3 being as weak as it was in terms of launch and shit, still one of the last good, great times of console gaming. I don't even care that I'm not a console gamer anymore. I dreaded moving to PC because I had been a console gamer for so long and felt like I'd be betraying, my roots and whatnot. But I couldn't be fucking happier. As long as I still got a Nintendo, I'm happy never touching another console again.
I agree, bro.
That said, they make a Dreamcast 2. Day one.
Jesus. So we got one last topic, and before we close out, and it's pretty much what games are you looking forward to playing in 2025 and beyond? Start with Cassie.
You're muted, Cass.
Your mic. Wait, let me
shit, my bad.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
No, I was saying that the game I'm looking forward to, without a doubt, is Expedition 33. That game looks so awesome. That looks like real Final Fantasy. What's crazy enough is that like a French company have to show them how to do it. Like that's wild to me. But hey, man, it is what it is. Like hopefully, we won't get another Final Fantasy 16 again. Because that shit is ass, and it's sad because I really like the characters and stuff, but the gameplay
gameplay's ass.
DMC light in the most disrespectful way possible. So I'm looking forward to Expedition 33. Doom, the Dark Ages, I'm looking forward to it, but at the same time too, the game looks like it's gonna require some horsepower to play. I'm hoping that the system requirements they put out is like before DLSS. That would at least be somewhat, because it's weird because the devs behind Doom games, they're really good at making good video games and just making sure that they're well optimized. Another game that I'm really, really excited for is the Mouse PI for Hire, the black and white, like Mickey Mouse.
Mouse PI for Hire looks so good.
Yes, I love first-person shooters, so that one looks awesome. I love the style and just the handcrafted like love that's put into the game. Like, how could you not be
it's fucking OG Doom meets Cuphead. How can you not love that? I'm a slut for Cuphead, bro.
Yeah, and Dying Light, the Beast is another one. It looks like a return to form to the OG Dying Light, which was one of my favorite PS4 games, mind you. The second one, I felt like they just did too fucking much to the point where it wasn't fun anymore. It's just like a pain in the ass to play.
Right.
So like returning to the OG Dying Light with Crane. I really like Crane as a protagonist. Someone that I found respectable. That was cool. And I guess the last one I could throw in there is, of course, Mafia: The Old Country. I love Mafia. It's one of my all-time favorite franchises, and that game, leaked out release date is apparently like August 8th, which is sick. I'm building a brand new PC for this fucking game, so it better be fire.
What about you, Leon? What you looking forward to?
Well, Cass named several of the ones I was looking forward to as well. Expedition 33, Doom, Mouse PI. On top of that, I'm very excited. Really high hopes for Silent Hill F. After the disgusting, bogus destruction that was Silent Hill 2, I'm praying for Silent Hill F to be everything I want it to be because I'm a massive Silent Hill fan. Anything Sonic the Hedgehog I'm going to buy is just an automatic day one buy for me. That was the other game I bought day one. Cass, I told you I could swear there was another one besides Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Sonic Shadows Generations I bought day one. And Sonic Superstars I bought day one. Point is, anything Sonic the Hedgehog I buy because I'm a slut for Sonic. I've been disgusted with the direction of Resident Evil as of late, and really we know there's another game in development, but we don't know when it's coming out. But I'm praying for when Resident Evil 9 does come, that's a course correction. I'm also praying they stop these fucking remakes of Resident Evil.
Even if it's Code Veronica?
Dude, definitely don't do Code Veronica. Don't do Code Veronica. Don't do Zero. Don't do Resident Evil 5. Leave them alone. I just did 2 complete playthroughs of Resident Evil 5 with Cinevere over the course of the last 2 weeks. She enjoyed playing it so much through the very first time that we did a second New Game Plus run on stream. We played it privately. She loved it. We played a New Game Plus run on stream. It was a blast. So leave those games alone. Give us Resident Evil 9 and make it good. Go back. Stop having this identity crisis. Do same with Silent Hill F. Make it good. Indie has been carrying horror for the last several years, and while I said I want the AAA industry to die and rise from the ashes, and while I'm loving indie horror games, I'm tired of seeing these IPs I love bastardized, and I want to see them come back full force, be everything I want them to be. And then after that, I mean, that's as far as what's been announced. I think that's probably about it. Eventually we're gonna get Fallout 5. I'm down. Eventually we're gonna get Persona 6. I'm down, but those still seem so far off that
Yeah.
Dude, Elder Scrolls 6 just recently went into like full production. So yeah, good luck with Fallout 5 within our lifetime. I predict I'll be dead before then.
Shit. So let me see. What games that I'm looking forward to is Expedition, the game, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm also looking forward to that.
Yes, I was not looking forward to that until your video on it, because I thought the presentation when it was announced looked like shit. But then you did your beta video on it, and it was you completely changed my opinion on Sonic. Was it Crossroads?
Crossworlds. Yeah, Crossworlds. Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that. And then there's this indie game. It's called Threads of Time. It's a Chrono Trigger inspired game that's coming to all platforms. I did a video on it, so you can definitely check that out. That's what I'm looking forward to. And then what else I'm looking forward to is hasn't even been confirmed or anything yet, which is Final Fantasy 9 remake. Final Fantasy Tactics. Yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics remaster / remake.
That is my favorite Final Fantasy game. Final Fantasy Tactics on PS1. If they could remaster that properly, let's go.
Yes, and then whatever potential Xenoblade or Xeno game that they may have in the works. So that's what I'm pretty much looking forward to and everything. But that pretty much wraps this up. I want you guys to, tell everybody what you have coming up on your channels and everything. If you got any projects or whatever. So starting with Cassie, I'll let everybody know.
Hey guys, so every Thursday night, 8 p.m. EST, I have my Twilight Zone of Gaming live stream, which is pretty insane. Basically, my chat bullies me for like anywhere from like 6 to 9 hours, it seems like at this point. So if you want to indulge in that, definitely check out my main channel, Cult Classic Cage. I also upload videos at random, depending on subjects that I find interesting or not, in revolving around gaming. So there's that too. Also, you could find me on Twitter at Mario Kart. Yes, I hijacked that. So
yeah, I was confused.
You, Nintendo.
I cannot believe that you got the just at Mario Kart. There's no numbers or anything. It's just at Mario Kart.
I mean, you never know what I have up my sleeve. I've been sitting on that handle for a long, long time, brother. I don't like to show all my cars off rip. I just hold stuff back. That's all it is. But yeah, you could also, if you're interested, and if you're how do you say if you're okay with commentary that criticizes both sides of the political spectrum in regards to gaming specifically, you can check out my second channel called Gooner Fist, which makes fun of Razor Fist and extra with it. And yeah, definitely everyone gets the smoke on there because I don't give a fuck. So it is.
So what about you, Leon? Let them know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, first of all, I released a video today covering the Corey X Kenshin drama, which, by the way, isn't really fucking drama, so it's insane that they're making drama out of it. But yes, do check that out. Also, I'm a massive Devil May Cry fan. I was personally attacked, offended, and distraught about the most recent Devil May Cry anime. This is my Last Jedi. Everybody was like, oh, The Last Jedi, that's where Star Wars died. The Devil May Cry adaptation is my personal Last Jedi, and so I've done 2 videos on that recently. In my opinion, they're bangers. Check them out. Beyond that, tonight is my late night stream at midnight Central Time, 10 p.m. PST, 1 a.m. EST, called Neon Leon, where I take one guest, interview them while intersplicing news interviews. So tonight we're doing Minimal Effort Live, Tebow, another great gaming channel that I recommend you guys check out. And then on Monday is the 1 or 2 year anniversary of my flagship live show, Countercast, which is the panel show. It's and my very first guest of ever on that show 2 years ago was yesterday, was the anniversary. The point is, we're doing the 2 year celebration plus lead up to Vegas trip stream on Monday. Cass will be the guest on that 2 years later, and it's we live in that. There'll be some great other great guests on there. Zach's Vex Electronica will drop by for a bit. Nadia, Mugen, you are absolutely welcome. You're part of the Countercast crew. Mugen is actually part of the Countercast crew, so he's of course welcome. And yeah, beyond that, video coming out tomorrow on what seems to be the cancellation of the Amazon Tomb Raider live action series. Thank God this
Heard
shit
about that.
if the rumors are
W.
true, it's canceled. And so yeah, I have a video coming out on that tomorrow. Beyond that, that's me. Thank you so much. This is
Hell
dude,
yeah.
after you've been on my show so many
Super
times, I'm
fire.
so happy to be here. Thank you so much. This was a great
Mhm.
discussion, awesome discussion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
definitely, man. Like I said, I thank the both of you guys because, as I said before, Cassie is the one that started it off. Got me on her platform, and then from there, man, you guys.
That's how I found you.
Just,
I think we were on that show together. I remember I was watching.
Yeah. That's how I met you. Yeah,
I had
yeah.
Mugen on like a couple of times. So
Yeah.
I think one time, I don't know if it was the first time. I don't think it was with you and Leon the first time, but I think the second time you
I think
pulled
it was
up.
the second time. Yeah, I think it was the second time. Yeah, and that's how I met Leon. And from there, got on his platform, and then you guys just created a domino effect. And ever since that, it's been on a bunch of different platforms. So as I promised, like, you guys had to come to mine, and you guys are my first guest on my Mugen TV podcast.
Love it, man.
I definitely appreciate it, and also want to let you guys know that I won't be uploading the YouTube content for the next probably like week or two because I really need to just settle down and just take a break. But I will be streaming though, so I'll most likely probably be streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or whatever like that. So you'll still see me, around social media. I'll still be around on YouTube and stuff. It's just that I won't be uploading any content or whatever. I need to just settle down and stuff. And also just want to bring this up for a second here. If you check out my VenusOrionComics.com, you see a counter. In 10 days, the website will be officially open, and you'll be able to go check out. I got a bunch of things on there. It's not just a place where you can buy my comics and stuff like that and merch, but it's also it got some story stuff in there. I don't want to spoil anything, but you'll be able to explore it and stuff to be able to learn characters, and it'll be constantly updated with new information and stuff. So I advise you to put that on your bookmark. There will be a 10% discount on merchandise and everything for an entire month once it launches and stuff. And those of you guys who backed the book, I finally got all the keychains done. I finally got everything in the sleeve, the comics in the sleeves and stuff. So we'll be boxing it up, and expect next week this stuff start shipping out, going to your addresses and everything. So you guys be getting your books.
I can't wait to read your book. I've been waiting. You know how hard it's been to not read that digital copy, motherfucker. I can't wait to read your book.
Yeah. So starting next week, you guys should be having your books in your hands and everything. So yeah, we'll be getting everything up and running. And of course, last but not least, Striking KOTs, my brother's t-shirt business. You can definitely check that out. We do custom t-shirts, custom hoodies, mouse pads, swimsuits.
Hit back real quick.
Is that hit back?
Just hit the back button.
Yeah, got you.
No, I like the page before this.
Oh, so the page. Oh, got you.
Yeah. What's that? The third one over right there. It says "Strike and Kill" official Words of Paradise tee. Just
yeah, man. We've done a lot. We done merchandise for Leon and LG and stuff. So you want us to do your merch? Definitely, you can hit us up and everything. We get you a good deal and stuff. If you live in the Philadelphia area, you live close by, we can just deliver it to you, or you can come to the studio and meet us and get your package and everything. So I really appreciate it. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can check it out if you want to. There's a $5 off that's going on at Striking KOTs. So all our designs are custom design. We're graphic designers, so you won't be able to find the designs anywhere else. So that pretty much wraps everything up. I appreciate you guys coming through. As always, I love all you guys. I love my audience. I love you guys, man. I can't wait for us to do this again. So yes, that wraps everything up, and see you